Chapter 539. You only know how to accuse others of framing you. You and the director are very intimate. Everyone in the office can see that. The more Su Ming scolded, the calmer Tao Yuan looked. I'm not sure if they can see that Ouyang Shura and I are intimate, but they can definitely see that you like Ouyang Shura. How dare I? I'm single. I have the right to like him. You're a married woman, yet you're still flirting here. Don't you have any shame? What does that have to do with you? Are you also the director of the Women's Federation, or are you going through menopause early? Why are you so nosy? Snickers were heard all around. Su Ming's face turned red and white. She couldn't win against Tao Yuan in an argument, so she simply took action and slapped her. Tao Yuan's reaction was very fast. Just as she was about to dodge, another hand caught Su Ming's wrist in midair. Her nose was filled with a bewitching smell. Ouyang? Noisy early in the morning. You're in a good mood. Ouyang Shua sneered. No matter what kind of environment he was in, his careless attitude gave him the most unique charm. Let go of me, I want to teach her a lesson. Su Ming twisted her wrist a few times. Let go of me, why are you protecting her? This woman has a foot in both boats and is playing with your feelings. She will tarnish your reputation. As the person involved, I have no opinion. Why are you so angry? I love you. Su Ming's eyes were red. The person she loved was protecting the person she hated the most. This was a fatal injury to her. She had never had a relationship that made her so painful. Her heart was torn. You still have to ask me. Do I love you? If I don't love you, you're being nosy. How can you say such a thing to me? Even if you don't love me, at least I'm helping you. She is the president's wife. If you have an affair with her, the president will not let you go. You're asking for trouble. That's more exciting, isn't it? Ouyang Shua replied indifferently. His smile always had a hint of madness. He was like a handsome madman, and only playing with fire could make him feel excited. Su Ming was trembling with anger. Do you like her? What's wrong with me? Am I not comparable to her? Let's not talk about anything else. Just your self-righteousness and your ruckus are enough to make me lose my appetite. We're colleagues. I didn't want to say it so harshly, but among all the women I hate, you're the one I hate the most. Even Tao Yuan, a bystander, felt that it was cruel, not to mention how much it hurt Su Ming. Su Ming covered her face and ran away crying. Ouyang Shua acted as if nothing had happened, still smiling like a spring breeze. Isn't it a little too much to say that? Tao Yuan followed him into the office. Am I going too far? I don't think so. He shrugged and sat down in the large office chair. That's already being polite. There were even worse things that I didn't say. Any woman who falls in love with you is destined to have her heart broken by you. Tao Yuan thought of herself in the past. Just like Su Ming, she fell in love with someone who hated her and was destined to be tortured. She could empathize with Su Ming's pain, and she felt it even more deeply. That's what I said, but they're still circling around me like moths to a flame, and I'm quite annoyed. Of course, that's only for them. It's different for you. Don't say such things again. It's precisely because of your attitude that people suspect our relationship. How about we forget about having a male partner? Ouyang Shua's lips curled upwards. Do you think it's appropriate to dump me midway? I'm also doing it out of consideration for each other's reputation. It's better to avoid arousing suspicion. I've never cared about what others say. His arrogant tone and attitude reminded Tao Yuan of Lu Li. She felt that their contemptuous expressions were very similar. But upon a closer look, she felt that it was different. Perhaps it was because they were equally conceited. Actually, I asked you to be my male partner just to spite him. She confessed. I used you. You think I don't know? But I'm honored to be used by you. What kind of structure was his brain made of? What? Don't tell me it's because you want to help me. I don't believe it. Tell me the truth, do you and Lu Li have some grudge against each other? Are you using me to deal with him? She's not stupid, Ouyang Shua thought indifferently. But the time was not ripe yet. Of course, he would not reveal his true intentions. He chuckled lightly. I'm thinking, what kind of tragic things have you experienced in the past for you to be so guarded now? Does everyone look like a conspirator to you? You're really paranoid. I suggest you see a psychiatrist. It's not bad to be wary of others, especially you. You make people have to be more vigilant. If you have such intentions, you're looking for the wrong person. Lu Li and I are just a nominal couple. We'll divorce soon. His sweetheart is someone else. It's more useful for you to find her. Don't waste your time on me. I don't want to be implicated by him. Women are all selfish. At critical times, they only think about self-preservation. Ouyang Shua teased. But your guess is wrong. I'm not interested in Luli. I'm only interested in you. Also, I don't like the feeling of being dumped halfway. So, your male partner can only be me. As usual, Tao Yuan worked overtime until 7 o'clock. After a busy day, she felt dizzy. She frowned and walked out of the company. Honk, the sound of a car horn startled her. A certain annoying man was sitting in a luxury car. With a domineering attitude, he lazily waved at her. The traffic was congested during the rush hour, which meant that she had to spend more time with Luli. In addition, they were in a confined space. Tao Yuan was a little impatient. On the contrary, the man in the driver's seat seemed to be in a good mood. The corners of his mouth were slightly raised and the corners of his eyes were shining. He turned to look at her. She quickly looked away. If you want to see, then do it openly. Why do you do it so sneakily? Do you have a guilty conscience? She was too lazy to say that he was narcissistic. Dad suddenly called us home today. What's the matter? I'm not sure. He shrugged and turned right. This is not the way home. Well, let's go for dinner first. Aren't we going home for dinner? She was forced to get into his car because they were going home together. The new auntie's cooking is terrible. I don't want to poison my stomach. Tao Yuan felt that it was an excuse. She pursed her lips. You're lying, right? Aha. He actually admitted it shamelessly. Then I'll get off in front and take a taxi. We're already here. Do you think it's too late to escape? Luli pointed to a Chinese restaurant by the roadside. Let's go there. During the meal, Tao Yuan was very angry. She did not give Luli a good look and kept urging him to hurry up. But the more anxious she was, the slower he was. Look at you. You have a bitter face even when eating. No wonder you're not liked. No one is begging you to like me. You tricked me into your car. What face do you want me to give you? If you think I look bad, go find Tao. He looked over with a hint of warning in his eyes. Tao Yuan could only swallow the words Yenran back down her throat. She thought uncomfortably in her heart. Tao Yenran was his darling, but she did not even deserve to mention her name? Oh, she was really looking forward to seeing his shocked expression when Tao Yenran's true colors were revealed. Just thinking about it made her excited. What bad ideas are you up to now? You're snickering. Luli was as shrewd as a fox. He observed her words and expressions without batting an eyelid. He took in her every slightest expression and saw through her thoroughly. What's wrong with that? Is it a crime for me to laugh? What? Are you afraid? He did not care. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that you'll shoot yourself in the foot. Keep your evil ideas to yourself. You won't get away with it. That's not necessarily true. Let's wait and see. Let's eat. Don't talk. I don't have so much time to waste with you. Finally, it was dinner time. Tao Yuan ran to the car, but Luli was still standing at the door of the restaurant. He looked at her with a smile like a monkey watching a circus. Why are you still standing there? Go home. It's still early. You ate well and are in a good mood. How about going to a movie? If it was before, Tao Yuan would probably faint from happiness. But now she had an expression of, are you crazy? Why did you suddenly have such a strange idea? The cinema is just across the street. It's just right. Luli walked over and held her hand. Tao Yuan shivered as if she had been electrocuted. Previously, he had been grabbing her wrist savagely, but now he was holding her hand gently, just like an ordinary couple. She was not used to it and her ears couldn't help but turn red. She shrunk back and wanted to pull her fingers out of his palm. However, Luli held it more firmly. Cross the road. Don't move. I won't help you if you get hit by a car. The man looked at her from the corner of his eyes. His face was soaked by the street lights, revealing a moving expression. On this cold night, he was gentler than usual. Tao Yuan mumbled softly. Then I'd rather be hit by a car. Are you cold? Ha! Is your hand cold? He asked naturally. Being held by him, not only was her palm hot, but her whole body was hot. How could it be cold? She answered in her heart. But the next second he put her hand into his coat pocket. It's warm now, right? He tilted his head and smiled at her. Tao Yuan felt like she was in a dream. Every step she took was stepping on clouds. It was so unreal and she was a little dazed. After crossing the road, he still did not let go of her hand. Tao Yuan walked to the entrance of the cinema and refused to go in. I don't want to watch a movie. I want to go home. Why? Do you still need to ask? It's so awkward for us to watch a movie together. It's weird just thinking about it. Besides, you don't look like a romantic person. Luli smiled and asked with interest. Then what do you think I should be like? A working machine? A cold-blooded and heartless demon? She nodded. You're really not suitable for romance. It gives me a very creepy feeling. I'm not as boring as you say. It's okay if you don't get used to it at the beginning. You'll get used to it slowly. After saying this, he dragged her into the cinema. The weather was cold and there were not many people in the cinema. They were all young couples. Watching a movie was a date, right? So Tao Yuan felt uncomfortable all over. She was on a date with Luli? It was scarier than a thriller. Chapter 540. The fastest movie will end at 11 o'clock. Let's go. Tao Yuan had just taken her hand out of his pocket when he pulled it back. 11 o'clock it is. What's the hurry? Are you in a hurry? She answered silently in her heart. She wasn't in a hurry, she just didn't want to stay with him. What do you want to watch? Luli decided to respect her opinion. Even if she chose a stupid romance movie that he despised the most, he would accompany her to the end. Tao Yuan looked at the screen and hesitated for a while. Is a horror movie okay? Luli replied with a satisfied smile. Your taste in choosing movies is as good as your taste in choosing a husband. Was this a disguised compliment? He was really thick-skinned. Go and buy the tickets. I'll wait here. Luli saw through her lie at one glance. In fact, he didn't even need to use his brain to speculate. Her guilty eyes had already betrayed everything. Do you think your promise has any credibility with me? As he spoke, he held her hand again. He didn't let go even when they were buying the tickets. The girl at the ticket counter looked envious. Tao Yuan, however, was very depressed. What was there to be envious about? He was treating her like a prisoner. After buying the tickets, popcorn and drinks, the two entered the cinema. There were not many people in the cinema. There were only a few couples scattered around. Their seats were near the front and there was no one around. Tao Yuan furrowed her brows. Why did you buy such a front seat? It's tiring to look up at the screen. The man replied with a meaningful tone. Do you really think I'm here to watch a movie? Tao Yuan pondered carefully. What he said seemed very evil. The movie began. Tao Yuan was immediately attracted by the plot. She was very engrossed in watching and didn't even blink. When she was at the most nervous moment, she suddenly heard a faint voice beside her ear. If you're afraid, you can hug me. She let out a chuckle. If you're afraid, you can hug me. He considered for a second. That's fine. As he spoke, he wanted to hug her, but Tao Yuan dodged him. After that, the man around her began to get restless, looking for all kinds of opportunities to take advantage of her. Tao Yuan was cautious. As soon as she noticed that his right hand was about to hold her shoulder, she pretended to bend over to tie her shoelaces. If he wanted to kiss her, she would stuff popcorn into her mouth. No matter what, she would not let him have his way. After a few times, Luli's desire was not satisfied. The delicious food was right in front of his mouth, but he couldn't eat it no matter how hard he tried. He was so hungry that his heart was itching to death. Didn't Lin Yuqing say that the cinema was the most exciting place? However, that was not the case at all. Right now, his lower abdomen was tight and it was extremely uncomfortable. He could only give up for now and focus on pressing down for the entire second half. The movie finally ended. Tao Yuan heaved a sigh of relief. How was she watching a movie just now? She had obviously acted. It was too tiring. Neither of them mentioned it again. Tao Yuan said dryly, the movie wasn't bad. There's a horror movie next week. Come again if you like it. We'll talk about it next time. She quickened her pace, but he held her hand again and caught up with her. The two of them walked out of the cinema. Luli was in a good mood and suggested to take a walk. Not long after, it started to rain. They could only take shelter under the canopy of a small shop. It's all your fault. Why did you want to take a walk? Now you can't walk anymore, right? The weather was cold to begin with. With the addition of the rain, Tao Yuan was so cold that she was shivering. Luli took off his coat and put it on her. She pushed him. No need, I have a coat. You'll feel cold in a suit. I'm not afraid of the cold. Don't worry about me. He pulled it tightly for her. Who's worried about you? Tao Yuan pouted. The scent that belonged to her on the coat seeped into her nose and seeped into her body, messing up her heartbeat. Her body trembled even more than before. It was not because of the cold, but the trembling of her soul. He stood in front of her, blocking the light. In the backlight, the pure black suit made his figure look straight. His face was a little blurry, but she could feel his warmth. She was not a woman who was easily moved, but this Luli could easily move her heart. She had to use all her strength to fight against her feelings. The coat wrapped her whole body, making her look like a petite doll. She looked delicate and adorable, making his heart soften. This kind of tenderness was very foreign to Lu Li, but at this moment he only wanted to use all his tenderness to dote on her and protect her. The feelings between the two of them intertwined. In the cold and rainy night, their hearts were like a cluster of flames, making their chests warm and bright. He gently brushed the hair behind her ear. His fingers touched her cheek, and she subconsciously shrank into the collar. Ahem, she cleared her throat uncomfortably. The movie tonight is not bad. It doesn't matter to me what the movie is about. His eyes were pitch black, deep and sincere, but within that pitch black darkness, there was a bright light. I just want you to know that eating at the food stalls, shopping for discounted clothes, eating and watching movies, I'm willing to accompany you. It was still raining. The pitter-patter also fell on the hearts of the two of them. Tao Yuan looked at that sincere face. Her heart felt as though it was being gripped by his hand. It tightened and her whole body was palpitating. A strange warmth was fermenting in her heart, and like a tide, it wrapped around her tightly. It was so hot that she could not breathe. She saw sincerity and even love in his eyes. It was like a whirlpool sucking her in. She almost believed that this man loved her. Almost. At the last moment, it was her rationality that prevailed. The last time she also had the same illusion, which was why she was so hurt. She swore that she would never be fooled by this man's sweet words again. She felt touched for a moment, but she suppressed her guard and slowly turned into another feeling. She laughed mockingly. Are you comparing yourself with them? So eager to prove that you're better than them? The warm atmosphere was broken in an instant. Lu Li did not expect that she would misinterpret his meaning like that, and he could not help but frown. I'm not comparing myself with them. But in my opinion that's what you mean. You're not willing to be outdone by them, and you want to prove that you're better than them in everything, even if it's something that you look down on. Today you've done such a big circle just to prove this point. It's really been hard on you. This sarcasm made Lu Li feel unhappy, but more than that he was disappointed. Must you twist my intentions like this? How much did she hate him to think that everything he did was wrong and made her feel so disgusted? Once bitten, twice shy. Even if you think that I don't know what's good for me, it's still because you taught me. She tried hard to make herself laugh without a care in the world. She made light of all the hurt she had suffered in the past. The rain won't stop for a while. Let's go. He stood in front of her and did not move. He stared straight at her, and half of his shoulder was still drenched by the rain. Tao Yuan sighed and could only crawl under his armpit. But at that moment she suddenly heard a loud noise above her head, and a piece of the canopy on the right collapsed. Just as she was stunned, the man's strong body had already pounced on her and pressed her to the ground, using his whole body to protect her. The rain mixed with the thick smell of blood filled the entire world. At the hospital, Tao Yuan sat in the corridor. She had already changed into clean clothes and she was rubbing her cold fingers. When it happened, Lu Li had protected her under his body and used his back to block the falling canopy. A steel bar had stabbed into his right shoulder, and she had hurriedly called 120. The doctor walked out of the ward and said that Lu Li had a slight concussion and a few scratches on his body. However, his right shoulder was more seriously injured, and he needed to be hospitalized for a few days. When she entered, the nurse was treating his wounds. His head was bandaged and there were a few pieces of gauze on his body. His right shoulder was in a cast. He was badly injured, but he was still in good spirits. When she entered, he even smiled at her. Tao Yuan stood at the door nervously, like a child who had done something wrong. Why are you still standing there? Come here. She was very obedient this time. She walked in front of him and asked hesitantly. Does it hurt? This injury is nothing. It doesn't hurt at all. The doctor said that your right shoulder is more seriously injured. Do you believe the doctor's words? They like to exaggerate. The nurse said. No, it's not exaggerated at all. If that steel bar had been inserted a little deeper, your right shoulder would have been crippled. Tao Yuan's little face turned pale, and she blamed herself even more. Don't move around. Have a good rest. If there's anything, ask your lover to help you. The nurse said a few words and left. Tao Yuan put her hands behind her, twisting them uneasily. After a long time she squeezed out a sentence. I'm sorry. Actually, you didn't have to. Didn't have to what? Am I still a man if I watch my wife get hurt? His tone was very arrogant when he said this, and Tao Yuan felt a lump in her throat. She could be sure that some of the things that Lu Li did before had his own purpose. But this time, it was an instinctive reaction in a critical moment, and it couldn't be faked. He used his life to protect her, which meant that she more or less had a place in his heart. She couldn't help but be moved. Why are your eyes red? Are you so moved that you're crying? He teased. Of course not. Don't you know what time it is? I stayed up late. You're such a heartless woman. I've already saved the damsel in distress. Can't you lie to me? What's the point of lying to you? Everything was fine. I went home by myself and nothing happened. It was you who wanted to eat, watch a movie, and take a walk. That's why so many things happened. You even sent yourself to the hospital. You're asking for trouble. I find that I don't like to listen to your words. Lu Li's thin lips curled up. Even though he was injured all over, even though he was wearing a snow-white hospital gown, he was still handsome and eye-catching. He was not as arrogant as usual but had more warmth. Tell me, is it appropriate for you to blame a patient? What's inappropriate about it? I'm just reminding you that you won't die if you don't seek death. Don't cause trouble in the future. Lu Li thought to himself, if he didn't cause trouble, would he have the chance to be alone with her? Although he didn't like what she said, as long as she was by his side and he could look at her quietly, he would feel very satisfied. He didn't feel that his love was petty at all, and he was willing to compromise. He pinched his eyebrows. Why do I suddenly feel a little dizzy? Didn't the doctor say that you have a concussion? Don't move. Tao Yuan hurried over to help him. Chapter 541. I'm afraid I can't be alone tonight. What if something unexpected happens? A concussion can be serious. He looked at her secretly with half-lidded eyes. I'll stay. You still have some conscience. I didn't save you for nothing. Don't talk and lie down. Where are you sleeping tonight? The sofa. You will freeze to death without a quilt. Then I'll get it from the nurse. This was the VIP ward, so Tao Yuan wasn't worried about these problems at all. The nurse must be tired. It's not appropriate to trouble others. Since this bed is big enough, I can reluctantly accept you sharing the bed with me. His eyes and tone made it seem that it was her greatest honor to share the bed with him. She should be grateful, but Tao Yuan obviously wouldn't be fooled by him. Thank you for your kindness, but I can't sleep well. If I accidentally touch your wound, it will be terrible. If I hug you tightly, you won't be able to move. I'm not used to sharing a bed with others, and I'm not used to hugging to sleep. I will have insomnia if I do that. She pressed her finger against his lips. Don't say that. I won't sleep with you. The man grabbed her soft little hand and kissed it. Tao Yuan felt a current running through her body and hurriedly pulled her hand back. I'll sleep on the sofa tonight. It's too far. What if you're sleeping too soundly and can't hear me? We're all in the same room. How can I not hear you? You're asking for a mile when you give me an inch. I don't care. I'm a patient. I can do whatever I want. Lu Li simply played the rogue. Tao Yuan knew that he was more stubborn than her, so she could only compromise. Then I'll move the sofa over, okay? Why can't a husband and wife sleep in the same bed? Because we are different from other couples. After saying this, Tao Yuan put down her bag and went to push the sofa. It wasn't until the sofa was next to the bed that Lu Li was satisfied. She asked the nurse for a quilt and pillow and made her little bed. It's late. Go to sleep. My back is itchy. Come and scratch it for me. Sighing, she walked over and poked him twice in the back. Here. It's useless through the clothes. Put your hand in. My hands are very cold. It's okay. Tao Yuan had no choice but to put her hand into his clothes. As soon as her cold fingers touched his skin, she felt his body tighten. He let out a low humph. I told you it was cold. When I was waiting for the news in the corridor, I was so nervous that my palms were sweating. When he heard this, he felt happy and smiled, revealing his neat white teeth. Are you worried about me? Yeah, I'm worried that my name won't be on your will after you die. Wouldn't that be a loss for me? Other than money, there's nothing else I want from you. Don't you find my body more attractive? Tao Yuan shook her head without giving him any face. Not at all. But now, touching his back, every muscle was as hard as iron. The lines of his muscles were clear, containing the wild and majestic power of a man, making people blush uncontrollably. His body temperature gradually warmed up her palms, and that heat drilled into her brain. This seemed to be the first time she had touched his body directly. Stop, this is called tickling, not caressing. Why are you blushing? I'm not. Tao Yuan mumbled, wondering if he had eyes on the back of his head. She knew it. Have you scratched enough? It's not itchy anymore, right? There's a place that's very itchy and I can't stop it, he said. Tao Yuan's face suddenly turned red and she slapped him. Why are you so evil? I'm talking about my heart. What do you think I'm talking about? What are you thinking about? He had a faint smile on his face, and his eyes were burning with evil intentions, which made Tao Yuan's cheeks hot. The most annoying thing about him was that he was the one who deliberately led her to an evil place, but he said it as if it was her problem. It was really annoying. Hey you should go to sleep, em. He actually pinched her lips. Tao Yuan blinked her big black and white eyes, looking at him innocently. Ew. What are you doing? He tugged his thin lips and his upper body slowly moved closer, landing on her lips. It seemed like a kiss, but it wasn't. He moved his lips gently, blowing hot air towards the tip of her nose. Tao Yuan was so nervous that her throat tightened. Her palms were hot and her fingers curled into fists. She was going crazy. Your little mouth is more suitable for kissing than scolding people, he said as if he wanted to kiss her again, but he didn't really kiss her. Late at night in the hospital ward. In Tao Yuan's eyes, there was only the charming curve of Lu Li's lips, which went all the way to the bottom of her heart. It was as if someone was holding a feather, gently tickling the tip of her heart. It was slow and numb and her back was numb. Actually, it wasn't the first time she felt such a throbbing. Every time he had the intention, she couldn't help but fall into his trap. Just like at this moment, he was actually pinching her lips, his fingertips moving lightly and heavily on her thin lips. Occasionally they would touch her teeth and she could taste the taste of his fingers. Lu Li also couldn't help himself. This was a game, but she wasn't the only one who fell into it, he was included as well. He liked her stubborn look, and he also liked her quietness at this moment, like an obedient child. Tao Yuan really thought that he was going to kiss her, but he didn't. In the end, he smiled and gently let go of her, saying in a deep voice, "Do you know that if you look at a man with such an innocent gaze, he will want to pounce on you?" Her throat was choking. "It's a pity that I'm injured today, or else our first time would be in the hospital," he said seriously. Tao Yuan suddenly sobered up and pushed him away with her burning hot fingers. Who's going to have their first time with you? Dream on. If I have the intention to seduce you, do you think you can resist me? He raised his eyebrows with a hint of conceit, a little hateful, but frivolous enough to make one's heart flutter. Tao Yuan ignored him, turned off the lights and crawled under the covers. But obviously after being teased by him, her mind was in a mess and she couldn't fall asleep at all. The heat on her face had not subsided yet, and her entire face was burning hot, her heart beating very fast. Thump, thump, thump. She even felt that in such a quiet night he could hear her heartbeat. "Give me your right hand." What? Right hand? He placed his left hand on the edge of the bed, just above her head, and waved his hand. "I want to hold hands." Tao Yuan blinked twice, a little confused by what he meant. "Hold hands? What? Don't tell me you're afraid of the dark." "No reason, I just want to hold hands." "Give me your hand." "I don't want to." It was very childish, okay? Moreover, he had said before that holding hands was something only elementary school students would do. Adults would just roll in the sheets. "I want to hold hands." The feeling of holding her hand all the way here was very warm, very wonderful. Her fingers were soft and had a unique warmth that filled the hole in his heart. "I refuse." "You know, I can hold on like this for one night." Tao Yuan was speechless and she was forced to stretch out her hand. Just as she touched his fingertips, he caught it in her palm and held it tightly. Perhaps it was the darkness that magnified her senses. Z. An electric current jumped out from her palm and rushed to her head. Lu Li laughed. "Your hand is quite warm and it feels comfortable to hold." "Of course, who's as rough as you? It's so uncomfortable." "Nonsense, this is a man's hand. How can it be compared to your sissy boy toy?" Tao Yuan chose to ignore his use of this as a pretext. After a while, "Are you done holding hands?" Most of her arm was exposed to the air, and it was about to freeze. Oh. Afraid that she would break free, he held her hand tighter as if it was the only warmth in his life. If he could, he really wanted to do this for the rest of his life. "I'm cold." "Then get on the bed and sleep with me." "I'm not sleeping with you." "I'm not sleeping with you. It's just sharing a bed." "It won't be cold if we hold hands under the blanket." She clicked her tongue. "Why are you so troublesome? You're not a child, why do you have to hold hands when you sleep?" "I'm a patient and I need special care." He said something very shocking and it was coquettish, making Tao Yuan shiver. He was obviously a big bad wolf, so why was he pretending to be a little lamb? He was not ashamed at all. The two of them were in a deadlock for a while, and in the end Tao Yuan couldn't stand the cold and wavered. "Your right hand is injured and it will touch the wound. My sleeping posture is really bad." "You sleep on my left." "Are you sure? I'm not responsible if it breaks." "No, you have to be responsible for me." She climbed onto the bed, shivering. The blanket was warm and comfortable. No wonder it was said that you must find a man to warm your bed in winter. A man's body temperature was higher than a woman's, and it was very hot. When she slept alone, if she didn't have an electric blanket or a hot water bottle, she wouldn't be able to survive the night. She thought silently, was warming the bed his only use? However, lying on the same bed like this, she really felt uncomfortable all over. She was like a hedgehog in a state of alertness. Why are you so tense? No one wants to force you. She also wanted to relax, but the big bad wolf was next to her. It would be strange if she could relax. Give me your hand. No, I'm not used to it. The man didn't say anything and directly touched her under the blanket. Hey, where are you touching? My hand. Why is my hand there? Are you deliberately taking advantage of me? Hey, you're still, She gasped and tried to push his claws away. Don't you feel uncomfortable sleeping with your underwear on? That's my business. You don't have to care if I feel uncomfortable or not. If you touch me again, I'll scream. Scream as loud as you can. It's just nice for the people around to hear how intense our married life is. You're shameless. Actually, Luli didn't know where exactly he touched, but he was still in a good mood since he took advantage of her. Her body was really soft. She looked thin, but she was still quite fleshy. It felt very good to touch. In her memory, this was the first time they really slept on the same bed, and the feeling was really indescribably strange. Moreover, she was really not used to sleeping alone. Her whole body was stiff and didn't move. Originally, she thought that she was destined to sleep until dawn, but his breath had a kind of calming power. Her eyelids became heavier and unknowingly she fell asleep. Listening to the even breathing beside her ear, Luli turned his body and she also turned her body. The two of them faced each other very close. With the moonlight outside the window, he could see her baby-like face, and there was a relaxed smile on the corner of her mouth. Good night. Chapter 542. After work, Tao Yuan bought some porridge and went to the hospital. The nurse was making the bed, and Luli was reading a document in his hand. The injured tiger was still the king of beasts, majestic and handsome. Tao Yuan couldn't help looking at him for a while. Mr. Lu, your lover is here, the nurse said. Luli put down the document and teased. I know, she has been peeping at me for a while. The sly smile on his face made Tao Yuan blush. She thought that this man was really hateful. She walked over, put the thermos on the bedside table, opened it, poured a bowl of porridge and handed it to him. Here, drink it. You always rush me at work, really? Luli looked at his arm. I am a patient. Don't you still have your left hand? Patients need special care. He said this again. You have to feed me. The nurse teased. Mr. Lu is acting like a spoiled child. Tao Yuan mumbled in a low voice. His concussion has worsened. Although she was reluctant, she put down the bag and fed the porridge to a certain giant baby, but she was also troubled by him. One moment he said that the porridge was too hot, and he said that she murdered her husband, and the next moment he said that today's porridge was not as good as before. Anyway, he used all kinds of excuses. Tao Yuan was speechless. The nurse said enviously. You and your wife are so close, Mr. Lu loves you very much. Tao Yuan just wanted to say hee. In this era where appearance was important, Luli was always right. She felt bitter in her heart. After the porridge was finished and the nurse left, Luli suddenly asked. How is the preparation for the New Year's Eve party? The tasks have been arranged and it is going well. We also invited a few celebrity guests to perform. One of them seems to be your ex-girlfriend. Are you talking about a bed partner? He corrected her. Did you do it on purpose? I am not responsible for that part and I just found out. If you don't want your ex-girlfriend to see her, I can replace her. Of course, Luli knew who she was talking about. You really have a sharp tongue. I didn't even say anything. How is that bad? Besides, I'm just being considerate for you. When an ex-girlfriend meets an old lover, the situation will probably be very troublesome. Luli said faintly. Adding a wife would make things even more troublesome, wouldn't they? You don't have to worry about that at all. I'm an invisible person. I'm very tactful. Since you're so tactful, shouldn't you be my female companion? Sorry, I already have a partner. Luli frowned. You're still angry with me? I thought we were back together. Did you misunderstand? The matter of Ouyang Shua being my male companion has nothing to do with you, and I'm not trying to spite you. I'll give you a chance to choose again. Tao Yuan pretended to seriously consider it for a while and then smiled. I choose Ouyang Shua. Are you sure? Yes. After all, I don't think it's good for you to bring two female companions. Also, I don't want the other Miss Tao to misunderstand that I'm competing with her for attention and affect your relationship. Why do you think I'll invite her? Lu Li was quite speechless at this point. He didn't seem to say that from the beginning to the end. She was the only one who thought so. Because she's your sweetheart? New Year's Eve is such an important night. Who should you spend it with if not her? Girls are very narrow-minded. If you don't spend New Year's Eve with her, she won't let you go. So you want to spend such an important night with Ouyang Shua? Lu Li's patience was also exhausted. Fine, since you want Tao Yanran to be my female companion, then you'll get your wish. In the blink of an eye, it was December 31st, the last day of the old year. Everyone was dressed up for the New Year's Eve dinner. The men gathered in twos and threes, chatting and laughing. The women were all dressed up, beautiful and alluring. There was laughter everywhere, and the air was filled with the fragrance of champagne. Such a night was intoxicating and delightful. Tao Yuan also dressed up for the dinner. She changed from her usual low-key style and wore a deep red V-neck gown. Her skin was as white as jade. The dress was a waist-tight style, outlining her exquisite curves. Under the short skirt were two proud long legs, white as snow, without a single blemish. Her makeup tonight was also quite flirtatious. The purple eyeshadow made her look more mysterious and elegant, charming and moving. Her big watery eyes were captivating. Her plump lips were like a warm and coquettish rose, making people yearn to kiss them. All the men present were kneeling under her long legs. Whenever she smiled at someone, that person's soul would be hooked by her. The male companion beside her was the equally outstanding Ouyang Shua. Even his white suit could not hide his evil and wild charm. His whole body exuded a feminine and mysterious attraction. Danger was his most lethal weapon. He chuckled. Look, all the men are looking at you. Is it that exaggerated? Tao Yuan smiled. But as a woman, she had her own vanity. She also enjoyed the feeling of being chased by others. When Ouyang Shua saw her dressed up, he knew that this woman could seduce any man tonight. When she did not put on makeup, she was fresh and beautiful, like a delicate white lotus. But when she put on makeup, she had a different kind of charm, like a little demon. That night, Ouyang Shua felt as if there were claws scratching his heart. It was a little itchy. The last time he felt this way was when he was in his adolescence. So many years of cultivation had been broken by this woman. I really want to hide you, he said meaningfully, his eyes shining with a strong sense of possessiveness. Even though she was used to his strong gaze, Tao Yuan's body could not help but tremble at this moment. She found an excuse to leave for the time being. Lu Yanting walked over and praised her. You are indeed the daughter-in-law of our Lu family. You are very beautiful tonight. No matter how Su Baihe and her mother slandered Tao Yuan, he always believed that his judgment was not wrong. Tao Yuan was the kind of girl who was traditional and independent. She could take care of the family virtuously, and she could also be independent in her career. Most importantly, she had a kind heart. Unfortunately, Lu Li did not know how to cherish it. But he believed that it was only a matter of time. A beautiful girl deserved to be treated well by everyone. Thank you, Dad. Where is Ali? I don't know. I didn't come with him. Oh, you have other male companions tonight? Tao Yuan did not know how to answer. Ouyang Shua had already walked to his side. Boss Lu. The corner of his mouth was full of ridicule and sarcasm. Lu Yanting's expression froze. A trace of complexity flashed through his eyes. In the end, he suppressed it and nodded. Yes. Dad, go get me a glass of champagne, Lu Yanting said gently. But Tao Yuan could hear that he was trying to send her away. It was probably because of the forum that he wanted to talk to Ouyang Shua. She did not know what he would say. But Ouyang Shua was a cunning fox. She did not need to worry about him. She nodded and left. Looking at the son who had been abandoned abroad since he was a child, Lu Yanting felt very guilty. He had never fulfilled his responsibilities as a father. He wanted to make it up to him. But once some damage was done, it could not be made up for, especially the damage done in childhood. Did you arrange tonight's dinner? Very good. He tried to find a topic. Ouyang Shua took a sip of champagne. It's not my credit. It's all sister-in-law's credit. This sister-in-law was very sarcastic. He added with a smile. Oh, the nominal sister-in-law. I saw the news on the forum last time. I believe that it is not the case. Someone must have done it on purpose. You don't need to find excuses for me. My motives towards her are not pure. Lu Yanting's heart skipped a beat. Do you know what you are saying? A fair lady is a gentleman's match. This is another prank of yours, isn't it? I know that even if you deliberately get close to her, you are just what? Ouyang Shua's smile became more and more coquettish. When such a smile appeared on a man's face, it looked very beautiful, coquettish and feminine. Just purposely causing trouble to attract your attention? Even so, it was easy to understand. A child who lacked love in childhood would often have some psychological problems when he grew up. Lu Yenting could see that his son had psychological problems at first sight. If you think that I am targeting the Lu family, then do you think that I am just playing to the gallery or have some conspiracy? His eyes were mysterious and unfathomable, giving off a sense of danger. Lu Yenting sighed. I don't know what you are thinking, but I hope you understand that you are my son. This is a fact that cannot be changed. The Lu family is also your family. We are not your enemy. Is that so? Then introduce me to my big brother and little mother. Lu Yenting's expression was a little awkward. It's not time yet. Then when will it be? Don't deceive yourself. An illegitimate child like me can't be exposed to the light at all. So, your assets and family have nothing to do with me. Of course not. You and Ali are both my sons. Both of you have the right to inherit. See, didn't I arrange for you to work in the hotel? I did not want to avoid responsibility at all. I said so much because I don't want you to get close to Yuan because of your prejudice against me. She is an outsider and she is your sister-in-law. If I am purely attracted to her, don't say such things again. Lu Yenting's expression was very reluctant. How many times do I have to emphasize that she is your sister-in-law? If you have any ideas about her, you are morally bankrupt. Ouyang Shura shrugged nonchalantly and smiled. I have no morals to begin with. Lu Yenting could not do anything to him and could only stare at him. He hoped that he was just saying these words in a moment of anger. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Tao Yuan brought the champagne over and smelled a hint of gunpowder. Ouyang Shua was still smiling mischievously, but Lu Yenting was restraining his anger. His face was dark and he left without taking the champagne. What did you say to my dad? His face is so ugly. What? Are you afraid that I will bully him? I am just a small employee, how would I dare to offend my superior? You are a person who speaks without thinking. What is there that you do not dare to say? I am warning you, don't talk nonsense. Oh, or else I will ignore you. Tao Yuan only realized that these words were shocking after she said them. Ouyang Shua patted his chest exaggeratedly. Chapter 543. Even though he had an argument with Tao Yuan that day, Lu Li did not invite Tao Yinran to be his female companion. He came alone. Ali. Tao Yinran came in from another entrance and the two coincidentally bumped into each other. She was wearing a long red gown which was very eye-catching. Her hair was tied up with a flower in it, and she looked like a wild Spanish girl. Are you alone? Yes. That's great, I'm alone too. Tao Yinran took advantage of the opportunity to hold his arm, and Lu Li could not refuse. The two of them walked into the banquet hall together, and everyone thought that they came together. The man was handsome and dignified, and the woman was beautiful and flirtatious. What a pleasing couple. The guests present began to gossip in low voices. The CEO and his wife had each brought a dance partner. Did this mean that their marriage had come to an end? Everyone knew that their marriage existed in name only, but on such an important occasion like the New Year's Eve dinner, it did not seem appropriate for them to go their own way. Were they too lazy to even put on an act? Lu Yenting's face turned from white to green on the spot, and he squeezed his goblet tightly. Lu Li's gaze found Tao Yuan at first glance. She had indeed come together with Ouyang Shura. She was actually wearing a deep V-neck short skirt, and she even had heavy makeup on? Who was she trying to seduce by dressing so seductively? What a dissolute woman. Lu Li was very annoyed, but he had to admit that she looked beautiful dressed like that. It was a style that he had never seen before, and it was a completely different feeling. This feeling was as if something that belonged to him had been sculpted by someone else to be beautiful. A sour feeling rippled in his chest and he was extremely jealous. Tao Yuan could feel the sparks in Lu Li's eyes. Ha, was he jealous of her beauty? Then she had achieved her goal. Tao Yinran had always been coquettish, so of course she could not lose. She specially chose a red gown, and the two of them happened to clash. With the same color there would naturally be comparisons, but Tao Yuan didn't think that she would lose to Tao Yinran. 4 years ago she was a red flower and he was just a green leaf that served as a foil. But now it was different. In terms of beauty and aura they were equally matched. The two women were invisibly competing, and the smell of gunpowder was very heavy. Tao Yinran retracted her gaze and smiled flirtatiously. Uncle is there. I'll go greet him. She had already gracefully walked over. Her backless dress was slit all the way to her waist, and the thin silk clung to her buttocks. As she walked, her beautiful buttocks were faintly discernible. Anyone who saw it would have a nosebleed. What a stunner. Uncle, long time no see. Lu Yin-ting nodded reluctantly. I wanted to visit you as soon as I came back, but I didn't have the time. I'm really sorry. It's okay. He didn't want to see her anyway. Tao Yinran smiled flirtatiously, but in her heart she was cursing that old thing. If he hadn't stopped her back then, she would have long become Mrs. Lu. But it didn't matter. Mrs. Lu would be hers sooner or later. At that time, the entire Lu family's assets would also be hers. The image of Lu Yin-ting lying in bed and vomiting blood in anger appeared in her mind. It was simply too satisfying. Now was not the time to shed all pretense of cordiality. Tao Yinran's face was still filled with a fake smile. Uncle, how's your heart? As long as no one is angry at me, there's naturally no problem. Lu Yin-ting replied bluntly. Tao Yinran's smile froze. I'm just concerned about you. You don't have to be like this. Concerned about me? Ha, when you say this, you can't wait for me to die, can you? Towards people he disliked, Lu Yin-ting was never polite with his words. Even the corners of his eyes were filled with contempt. You can lie to Ali, but you can't lie to me. We both know what kind of person you are. How can you say that? To me, you're my second father. Save it, sugar-coated bullets don't work on me. He was very good at reading people. When Lu Li brought Tao Yinran home, he already disliked this girl very much. He felt that she was scheming and not someone who was easy to deal with. Later on, his judgment was confirmed. He was not even willing to mention the things she had done. You see, I'm telling the truth, but you don't believe me. 4 years ago, you already broke up Ali and me once. Are you going to do it again now? The reason why you broke up, was it because I broke you up, or was it because you did something shameful? You know it in your heart. A crack appeared on Tao Yinran's face. She froze for a moment, but she still smiled. Even if I did something wrong, these 4 years should be enough to atone for it. Don't tell me that once a person makes a mistake, there's no chance to change? I don't believe that uncle has never done anything wrong. There are some things that can't be reversed once you do something wrong. What's more, I don't see that you've changed. Any woman with a bit of shame will not be a mistress. The first person who stepped in my relationship with Ali was Tao Yuan. She is the mistress. Watch your words, don't let me ask you out. If you don't leave my son voluntarily, don't blame me for being ruthless. Lu Yanting said this and left. Tao Yinran gritted her teeth. Old thing, I'll kill you sooner or later. Lu Li brought 2 glasses of wine over. What did my father say? Nothing. Isn't it the same as asking me to leave you? Ah, he has always disliked me. Tao Yinran's face showed a trace of helplessness and grievance. Or I'd better leave. Anyway, it's annoying to stay here. As for Lu Li, his attention was on Tao Yuan, and he did not care about whether Tao Yinran stayed or not. However, he still wanted to use her to provoke Tao Yuan, so he stopped her. Don't go. Not far away, Tao Yuan saw Lu Li holding Tao Yinran's wrist, and she felt that it was a little dazzling. Thinking that the two of them had slept with their fingers intertwined for a night, she felt that the place he touched was very dirty. No matter what happened between him and Tao Yinran, she did not care, but she could not stand him provoking both sides. How despicable a man must be to deal with 2 women at the same time. Moreover, sometimes she felt that his gentleness towards her was sincere, and she could not help but be bewitched by him. She could only say that his acting was too good, and she needed more facts to sober herself up, so as not to fall into his gentle trap. Don't look at the dazzling things. Ouyang Shua held her face and turned it to him. His pitch-black pupils flickered with some light, like the twinkling stars in the night sky. Tao Yuan was attracted by his eyes, and after a few seconds she came to her senses and pushed his hand away. Don't be touchy in public. I just touched your face and you call it touchy? Then if I want to kiss you, are you going to sue me? Don't even think about it. That's right. During the New Year's countdown, the male partner has to kiss his female partner. Isn't it just a countdown? When did you add this? Why didn't I know about it? I added it. Ouyang Shua was as proud as a fox. As a boss, I should work for the welfare of my employees. Do you know how many single dogs there are in our company? Christmas and New Year's can bring many lonely single men and women together. Just thinking about it makes me feel great. Haha, you are working for your own welfare, aren't you? Well, I admit that I want to find an excuse to kiss you. This year is almost over, don't you want to go crazy? People who use holidays to indulge themselves are too lonely, and I am not one of them. Staying alone in an empty room for more than 3 years, if not you, who would be lonely? If this was the ancient times, you would be the cold queen. How pitiful. Tao Yuan did not like his mocking tone and retorted. My career is on the rise now, and the achievements in my career make me very satisfied. In this era there is no need for men, and women can still live well. Besides, you're a single dog, what right do you have to laugh at me? I'm single, but that's because I'd rather not have anything than have something I want. I only want what I want. His eyes were burning, and there was a blazing light in his eyes, like a hunter who had locked on to his prey. That kind of pressure once again caused trouble for Tao Yuan. Lu Li seemed to be talking to Tao Yanran, but his eyes did not move away from Tao Yuan for even a moment. She did not feel it at all and kept chatting with Ouyang Shura. Chatting, what was there to talk about? When she was with him, why did she not talk so much? Damn it. Ollie? Why are you daydreaming? Huh? What did you say? Dance? Okay. The music started and couples danced on the dance floor. Tao Yuan was also forcibly pulled in by Ouyang Shura. You're good at dancing. Ouyang Shura praised. Thank you, you're not bad yourself. He suddenly bent over and moved closer to her ear, his breath smelling like orchids. What perfume are you wearing? Smells good. Shower gel. Your shower gel must be very moisturizing and your skin is so smooth. There was an opening at Tao Yuan's waist, and Ouyang Shua's hand just happened to fall there, and he slowly stroked it. Where do you put your hand? Isn't it where it should be? I say, you're doing this on purpose, right? He smiled evilly. How could I let you take advantage of me on purpose? Her face was red purely because of the excitement, but in Lu Li's eyes, it became her amorous heart. Look at her shy kitten appearance, she was as arrogant as a tigress in front of him. Damn it. No wonder she was so fierce to him, so her gentleness was used on other men. Lu Li really had enough, and he directly let go of Tao Yanran and walked in front of the two of them. Do you mind changing dance partners? His expression was cold and so was his tone. Tao Yanran felt like an abandoned cargo, and her face was very ugly. Tao Yuan did not want to change, but Ouyang Shua nodded. No problem. The next second she was directly pulled into Lu Li's arms, and his arms suddenly tightened around her waist, almost breaking her waist. Her little face turned pale and she gasped. What are you doing? What do you think I'm doing? I was dancing with him just now and I was very happy. Lu Li said sarcastically. He also wanted to use indifference to disguise it, but he just could not control it. That sour feeling was drilling in his chest, and his stomach was also churning, and it was very uncomfortable. She was speechless. Have you ever seen anyone dance with a crying face? I really should have let you see how you looked just now, your face was so red. What? Is he good at seducing you? At least it's more comfortable than with you. Won't your sweetheart be angry at you for changing dance partners in the middle of the dance? Her face was already very ugly just now. Chapter 544. How did I provoke you? You bring your partner and I bring mine. We don't interfere with each other. What's the problem? Nowadays many marriages are like this. They play their own games. I think you're ridiculous. You have Tao Yanran but you still pester me. Do you still want a Huang and Nuing? But I'm sorry, you don't have that kind of charm. Lu Li used all his strength to force himself to calm down. His body was cramping. She's not my female partner. I'm not blind. I didn't invite her. We just met at the door. It's a good excuse. What do I have to do to make you believe me? I'm not lying to you. Although these words slightly affected Tao Yuan's mood, it was actually meaningless. You don't have to explain to me. I don't care. You really don't care? Yes, I don't care. I'm fine without you. She looked into his eyes and said seriously, I'm different from before. I really don't need you. Lu Li couldn't help but stop. It was a feeling of suffocation. Tao Yuan pulled her hand out of his and left. Tao Yanran's resentful eyes followed the two people on the dance floor. She was very unhappy. Miss, you stepped on me 4 times. My feet are about to break. Ouyang Shua joked. It's embarrassing for a dancer to dance like this. I'm not in the mood to dance now. Ali exchanged me with her. What does this mean? Does he want her or not me? It's just a dance. You think too much. It's not a matter of a dance. It represents his choice. At this moment, Tao Yanran couldn't deceive herself anymore. She was completely panicked. She felt that she was losing Lu Li and was about to lose him completely. No, I can't let that woman take him away. Make her drink more later. Get her on the bed tonight. Do you hear me? Ouyang Shua shrugged. I'll try my best. After the dance music ended, Ouyang Shua followed Tao Yanran's instructions and found all kinds of excuses to make Tao Yuan drink. She was a little depressed, so she drank a few more glasses and felt a little dizzy. I'll go back first. There are only 5 minutes left before the New Year's Eve. Let's finish the countdown before going back. Ouyang Shua refused to let her leave. In the last 2 minutes, everyone gathered in front of the stage. During the kissing segment after the New Year, they stood together in tacit understanding, waiting for the first kiss of the New Year. Ouyang Shua looked at the tipsy Tao Yuan beside him and began to look forward to it. His heartbeat was out of control. 10, 9, 4, 3, 2, 1. The red numbers on the giant screen kept jumping. Ouyang Shua's heartbeat started to quicken as well. He glanced at Tao Yuan, who was beside him. Her face was flushed red and she looked slightly tipsy. Her lips were slightly pouting as though she was waiting for someone to kiss her. He could feel a surge of restlessness drilling into his body. A few meters away, Lu Li and Tao Yanran stood together. Tao Yanran was also looking forward to this New Year kiss with ambition in her eyes. 1. After a cheer, the whole place fell into darkness. A hand suddenly grabbed Tao Yuan's arm and pulled her into a strong chest. She was about to struggle, but a familiar breath came to her. She recognized that breath. It was Lu Li. He held her face with both hands and kissed her. She opened her eyes wide. Because the darkness made her senses clearer, she could clearly feel his soft lips. It was as soft as a butterfly. It was so gentle that she was intoxicated. Her body began to tremble slightly. The faint taste of champagne in her mouth followed the entanglement of their tongues. It flowed down her throat and spread throughout her body, soaking her limbs and bones. She felt herself floating. Her body seemed to be stepping on clouds. The world was spinning. It was so unreal. The lights came on. Tao Yuan looked at the man in front of her dizzily. His eyes were burning and his breathing was heavy. He stared at her with a blissful smile on his lips. Everyone around them was cheering, but it seemed that there were only the two of them in the world. She heard her heart beating faster than ever and her body was also boiling. As soon as the lights went out, Tao Yanran prepared to give him a kiss, but the person beside her had already disappeared. In the dark, she fumbled around aimlessly. Her heart was in a mess and she was anxious. She was afraid that her guess was right. However, her nightmare had become reality. When the lights came on, she clearly saw Lu Li standing in front of Tao Yuan. Both of their lips were red. It was obvious that they had just kissed. He had actually chosen Tao Yuan for the first kiss of the new year. The most ironic thing was that she was standing right beside him. Tao Yanran felt that she was a complete joke. She was angry, jealous, and in disbelief. Her red nails dug deep into her palms. Her snow-white skin was flushed red. She gritted her teeth like a ferocious demon. Her body was trembling violently. This scene was what Ouyang Shua had guessed. Therefore, he was not surprised and continued to drink his champagne. However, the smile on his lips seemed a little forced. At this moment, the stuffy feeling in his chest was probably called disappointment. He asked himself if it was because his plan was interrupted or because he was moved by Tao Yuan. Moved? Was that possible? He did not have a heart. How could he be moved? Fireworks bloomed in the night sky. It was gorgeous and colorful. The whole world was celebrating the arrival of the new year. That night, for the four of them, something began to change. Tao Yanran was drunk. Lu Li sent her home. When they arrived at the hotel, she was so drunk that she could not walk. Lu Li had to carry her upstairs. After entering the room and putting her on the bed, he was ready to leave. However, Tao Yanran hugged his neck and refused to let him go. Let's continue to drink. Come on. I want to drink more. Give me more. Let's get drunk, she shouted in a drunken voice. I want to drink. Give it to me. Lu Li had a headache. You've drunk enough. After the countdown, she began to gulp down the wine like crazy, as if she wanted to get drunk to death. He thought that she must be drunk because he kissed Tao Yuan. However, Lu Li did not regret it. He did not want to kiss Tao Yanran, nor did he want to kiss Tao Yuan. However, when that moment came, his body's instinct drove him to rush to her. He had never been so strong and desperate. But that kiss made him feel happy and satisfied. On the way back, he was in a trance. You should rest early. I don't want to. Tao Yanran scratched him like an octopus. She was angry and shouted, but her voice was messy, more like a coquettish pout. Don't go. I don't want you to go. Yanran, do you hate me? You hate me so you can't wait to leave me, right? She looked at him in a daze, but her eyes were full of hurt feelings. You hate me, right? Ali, answer me. I don't hate you. Then do you love me? Tao Yinran's eyes were red, not only because of the alcohol, but also because of pain. Her nose was sore, causing her voice to become hoarse and fragile. Do you love me? She was like an aggrieved child, afraid of getting hurt. It seemed that one word from him could make her feel so much pain that she wanted to die. She hung on him, and Lu Li supported himself with one hand on the bed. His body was tilted, and half of his body was pressed against hers. Their faces were very close, which magnified the vulnerability in her eyes, making his heart ache. He had been avoiding this question, especially when Tao Yinran asked him personally. He didn't know how to answer. Love, maybe he still loved her. After all, they had been together for so many years, and he did love her crazily. He missed her very much during the years when she left, and he didn't love any other woman. But they couldn't get back together, so she was the eternal regret in his life, like a brand, deeply imprinted in his heart. Occasionally when he thought about it, he still felt his heart ache. It was meaningless to answer this question, but she almost used a begging tone to ask him, so Lu Li couldn't bear to say that he didn't love her. You still love me, right? Tao Yinran choked. Yes, she was not drunk. She was acting, using alcohol to protect her dignity. However, the pain was real and the fear was also real. No matter how many mistakes she had made in the past, at least her love for him was real. She couldn't accept that the person she loved didn't love her back. She would go crazy. Yinran. Lu Li sighed and tried to use his other hand to pry open her arms that were wrapped around him. Don't go. Answer me, you still love me, right? It's very late, go to bed early. I don't want. Answer me. She lost control and made a big fuss, insisting on an answer. That question was like a whip whipping Lu Li's heart. He didn't know how to face it, he just wanted to escape. So, he forced himself to be ruthless, forcefully broke free from her arms and turned to leave. Don't go. Ali, don't leave me. Tao Yinran rushed up and hugged him from behind. Using all her life, she tightly hugged him and cried. Ali, don't leave me. I beg you. I love you, I really love you. Lu Li closed his eyes, the pain raging in his chest. I don't want my self-esteem, I don't want anything, I just want you. I came back not because of some company assignment but because I want to come back to see you, I love you. These years, I never stopped thinking about you. I really love you. So I came back. Only when I'm with you I feel happy. I know I can't selfishly persuade you to divorce, but I'm back. We can start again. Can you leave Tao Yuan? Let's be together. Just like before. We can't go back to the past. From his throat, he squeezed out a low voice. Lu Li's heart was cold. Even if we can be together, we can't go back. What? I'm still me? 4 years ago, I let you down. Even if we're together again, I don't have the face to face you. But I don't care. I know you have your own difficulties, I never blamed you. I will forget all the things in the past. Ali, I can't live without you. That kind of life is really painful, I can't endure it. Chapter 545. She turned him and clung weakly to his chest, trembling uneasily, and sobbing as she held his face in her hands. Ali, I love you so much. Let's start over, okay? Ali, I beg you. She tiptoed to kiss his lips, but Lu Li avoided her and tried to pull her away. Don't be like this, you're drunk. I'm not drunk, I'm very sober, I know how much I love you. Yinran, don't push me away please, she insisted on kissing his lips, slowly moving around. Lu Li was stunned as sparks appeared on his lips. Her lips were soft and sweet, and the familiar fragrance drilled into his nose. Even if they were separated for many years, his body still had an instinctive sense of familiarity with her, which numbed Lu Li's nerves. He unconsciously wrapped his arms around her waist, took the initiative and deepened the kiss. He carried her to the bed and the two of them intertwined together. Tao Yinran turned over and pressed Lu Li on the bed. She seduced him with her eyes and pulled off her hair tie, which was messy and flirtatious. It was like a hot dance performance. She was born to seduce men, and every move she made was enough to make a man's blood boil. Lu Li drank some wine, and his body produced an instinctive excitement. Under the stimulation of alcohol, it became more and more intense. Tao Yinran was like a water snake sticking to his body and slowly licking his throat. Lu Li's Adam's apple couldn't help but move. His nose opened and closed as he panted heavily. Tao Yinran slowly unbuttoned his shirt. Tao Yinran continued to skillfully tease him. She knew how to please a man in bed. She believed that no man with strong self-control could escape from her. Moreover, Lu Li was obviously aroused and excited. Her lips kept moving down. Lu Li's body was already excited to the extreme, but at this critical moment when he was about to compromise, Tao Yuan's face appeared in his mind, and he felt that this was a betrayal to her. His burning body was suddenly splashed with ice water. He realized what he was doing and hurriedly pushed Tao Yanran away. She was suddenly pushed aside and almost fell off the bed. She looked at him in surprise. Ali, sorry, we can't do this. Lu Li sat up. In just a second, the misty face had completely calmed down. Why? Tao Yanran frowned. He couldn't believe it. He was already very excited. Wasn't he fine just now? Did I do something wrong? You're not wrong. It's my fault. I shouldn't have kissed you. Since I have no intention of getting back together with you, I can't have any relationship with you. That would be disrespectful to you. Disrespect. Tao Yanran frowned even tighter, exuding a strong sarcasm. Oh, this is just your excuse. You're not afraid of disrespecting me. You just don't want me. She whispered. I'm already lowly enough, what else do you want from me? Do you want me to kneel down and beg you? I didn't mean that. Anyway, I'm sorry. Lu Li covered her body with the sheet. Go away, I don't want you to care about me. Tao Yanran pushed him away. Being rejected in bed by the man she loved was a great humiliation for a woman. She trembled with anger and roared shrilly. Go away, go away. Lu Li opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but he finally held back and silently buttoned his shirt. I'm sorry. The sound of the door closing came. He left. He really left. Tao Yanran screamed like a madwoman, smashing everything in the room that could be smashed into pieces. After a crazy vent, she finally collapsed on the ground exhausted and cried with her head in her hands. Lu Li stood at the door of the room, silently listening to Tao Yanran's hoarse cries. He felt very guilty. However, he was glad that the mistake didn't happen. If he really wanted her, it would be unfair to her. In those few seconds he thought that if he had sex with Tao Yanran, then Tao Yuan would no longer want him. He couldn't bear the risk of losing her. It was also at that moment that he clearly realized how important Tao Yuan was in his heart. He fell in love with her. Because he loved her, he would be jealous and pester her again and again. Because he loved her, Tao Yanran became less important. Because he loved her, he kissed her tonight. The strong impulse made Lu Li's chest heave up and down. He wanted to see her, he must see her immediately. Tao Yuan drank a lot and was drunk. Her whole body was weak and her consciousness was in a semi-hazy state. Her mind kept repeating the kiss in the dark. She knew it was Lu Li, so she should have pushed him away immediately. But why didn't she do so? She even responded to his kiss with her arms around his neck. Now that he thought about it with his little rationality, he regretted it so much. He might have just done it with Tao Yanran. They had just kissed passionately, but she not only let him kiss her but also responded to him. Thinking about it made him feel ashamed and dirty. The car stopped at the door of the apartment and Ouyang Shua asked, Are you okay? Do you want me to carry you up? I'm fine. Although she said so, she couldn't even open the seat belt. I'll help you. He smiled. See, you said you're not drunk. I'm not. She was just dizzy and weak. Drunk people always say they're not drunk. It's the first day of the year. Happy New Year to you. Thank you, you too. Don't you want to do something exciting to make your new year more meaningful? The evil intention in his devilish eyes was very obvious. The smile at the corner of his mouth was also very seductive. You've been trapped by Lu Li's feelings for so many years. Don't you want to completely get rid of it on the first day of the new year? Tao Yuan smiled faintly. If you mean having sex with you, then I'm not drunk to that extent. I'm not someone who will make mistakes because of loneliness. It's tiring to live too soberly. It's just a few decades. Why make it so hard for yourself? But I'll be even more tired if I have sex with you. She smiled. Don't think you can take advantage of me when I'm drunk. At this moment, Ouyang Shua's mind was in a momentary dilemma. Should he continue to pester her? A drunk woman would let her guard down. This was undoubtedly a good opportunity. Just looking at her now made him want to push her down. But he couldn't take advantage of her when she was in trouble. This wasn't to say that he was a noble gentleman. It was just that he couldn't do that to Tao Yuan. Then go up. Good night. Good night. Tao Yuan got out of the car. She staggered a few steps and couldn't walk steadily. But she knew that he was watching from behind. She was afraid that he would use this as an excuse to send her upstairs, so she tried to steady her steps. Of course, all this didn't escape Ouyang Shua's eyes. He could still see that she couldn't walk steadily at all. Watching her enter the apartment, he didn't leave immediately. He didn't know why, but he just didn't want to leave. He sat in the car for a while. A Jaguar sped over. As soon as the car stopped, the man in the driver's seat rushed out of the car and ran into the apartment. Luli. He really came after her. Ouyang Shua narrowed his eyes. There was an inexplicable meaning in his eyes. Things had obviously become more troublesome. But he liked the challenge. It was exciting. If Luli didn't have feelings for Tao Yuan, then what was the point of snatching her over? In the end, the corners of his mouth curled up into a meaningful and sinister sneer, and he drove away. Tao Yuan had just returned home. She collapsed on the sofa and closed her eyes to rest. She was very tired. She had drunk too much just now. Now that the alcohol had gone to her head, her whole body was hot and her head was dizzy. There seemed to be a surge of energy surging in her body. It kept boiling, trying to find an outlet to vent it out. Bang. The door opened with a loud noise. Tao Yuan was so shocked that she jumped up from the sofa and looked at Luli, who had suddenly barged in with inexplicable horror. His hair was messy and he looked agitated. His chest rose and fell as he panted heavily. Two red eyes stared at her like a wild beast. She shrank back. What are you doing here? I have something to say to you. I don't want to hear it. Get out. She stood up and tried to drive him out, but as soon as her arm touched his chest, he grabbed it. She struggled, but he had to take her. He grabbed her with his big hand and pressed her against him forcefully. She had just reached his chest when her head collided with his strong chest muscles. Wang, what are you doing? Let go of me, she wriggled, but he pressed her body down. Every time she struggled, her body would only be pressed closer together. It was like a second layer of skin without any gaps. His hot body temperature also became hers, and his restlessness also became hers. Luli, shouldn't he be at Tao Yanran's place? I have something to say to you. He pinched her chin and stared at her with his dark eyes. There was a ferocious emotion in his eyes. It was this kind of feeling, a feeling of satisfaction in his soul. It was a feeling that even if the world fell apart, he just wanted to look at her and hold her. I said I don't want to hear it. Get out, don't bother me. You have to hear it. I love you. Tao Yuan's body trembled and she instantly stopped struggling. Was she hallucinating because she drank too much? He said he loved her? Buzz, buzz, buzz. For a long time her ears kept ringing with this voice and her mind was blank. Her heart felt like it was being fiercely clenched and pain spread out. No, this couldn't be true. She struggled even harder and shouted. If you're drunk, then go back to Tao Yanran and get it. What are you doing here in the middle of the night? I'm very sober. Luli pinched her chin and clearly said each word. I love you, I'm in love with you. Do you understand? Chapter 546. I'm not lying to you. If it's possible, I don't want this to be true. But I F** king. He couldn't help but curse. I'm really F** king in love with you. I don't know what's going on, but I'm crazily infatuated with you. My mind is only thinking about you like I've gone crazy. I don't even want to care about Tao Yanran. Do you understand? He roared loudly. Tao Yuan didn't want to listen, but every word drilled into her ears. It was as if the voice of fate was echoing in her mind, drowning her in his love. Her body trembled even more than before. She felt terrified and wanted to escape. She laughed sarcastically. You're telling me this right after getting off Tao Yanran's bed. Is there a man more despicable than you in this world? What? You're tired of sleeping with the same woman and want to change your taste. Let's see who can please you more in bed, me or her? She sneered, looking at him as if she was looking at the dirtiest and most disgusting person in the world. The words that came out of that cute little mouth made him so disgusted. Luli didn't want to hear a single word and kissed her fiercely. Ugh. She struggled with all her might. Although she was weak, she still wanted to protect her last bit of dignity. Let go. But her resistance aroused Luli's desire to conquer even more. His actions became rough as he bit her lips hard. There was even a trace of blood in his mouth. Ugh. Let go. He had been longing for her sweet taste for too long. This kind of tearing was not enough to quench his thirst. Her already weak body melted under his attack. The two of them fell on the sofa together. A lingering kiss softened Luli's edges. The corners of his eyes were gentle, as if he was the most gentle person in the world. See, you like this kiss as much as I do. Tao Yuan was still a little dazed. When he kissed her again, she quickly moved away. I hate you. Then who responded to my kiss? You obviously like it very much. You just had sex with Tao Yanran, and now you're pestering me again. Don't you think you're so cheap and disgusting? Go away and don't touch me with your dirty hands. Who told you that I slept with her? Are you telling me that you've been chatting under the quilt for so long? Even a 3-year-old wouldn't believe such a clumsy lie. Would you believe me if I said that I've never even slept on her bed? Tao Yuan rolled her eyes. Such beautiful eyes, it's not good to use them to roll back. He kissed her eyelashes. Tao Yuan sucked in a cold breath. You take your hand away, don't touch me. You're so delicious, how could I bear not to touch you? Lu Li, I know you want it. Go away. Don't touch me, don't you think it's too late to say this now? Tao Yuan was really going crazy. Don't be like this. She was so anxious that she started to cry. Don't cry, baby, I won't hurt you. He kissed her tears, using the most gentle voice he had ever used to comfort her. She felt that her body and soul were melting, gradually forgetting her hatred for him, but she still felt ashamed, and her mouth was still stubbornly resisting. Don't touch me with your dirty hands. I've never touched Tao Yanran, I swear to you. I only want you, only you. Beside her ear, he repeated the words over and over again, blowing his breath into her cochlea. I only want you. Tonight you're mine. He actually saw the blood stains. Lu Li was stunned. There had never been a moment in his life that he was as excited as this moment. That night 3 years ago she didn't shock, gratitude. All kinds of emotions welled up in his heart. He had already been so tender earlier, and now he wanted to pour all his tenderness on her. Baby, don't cry. I'll be gentle. He struggled to stay still, even though his forehead was covered with a layer of sweat. The sunlight stung her eyelids and it was very uncomfortable. Tao Yuan subconsciously reached out to block it, and when she felt a little better she slowly opened her eyes. She was so tired and her whole body was sore as if she had been run over by a big truck countless times. She had suffered so much tonight and she would never drink so much again. What was even more strange was that she actually had a dream of him and Lu Li. Good morning. The sleeping beauty supported his head with one hand and looked at her with a smile. Tao Yuan was so scared that she screamed. Why are you here? She hurriedly moved back and almost fell off the bed. The man stretched out his long arm and pulled her back. His handsome face was bathed in the sunlight, and his skin was so white that it was almost transparent. Do you need to be so scared? His upper body was naked and she was also. Tao Yuan's body was trembling like a sieve, and the words drunk echoed in her ears like a curse. But she still didn't dare to believe it. You tell me, we only slept on the bed together for a night and nothing happened. She swallowed and spat with difficulty, and her words were stuttering and unclear. Lu Li smiled lazily, and his beauty could cause the downfall of a city, and it was somewhat evil. Then tell me, if we only slept for a night, why are we not wearing any clothes? Maybe I vomited and was dirty? Her panicked look was extremely cute and Lu Li couldn't help but caress her face and chuckled. You're really too interesting. His tone was full of pampering, but it made Tao Yuan's hair stand on end. She must still be dreaming, right? And it was a nightmare. She pinched herself hard and it would hurt. Was it not a dream? She didn't dare to believe it. Yesterday was already like that. If nothing happened between us, then there's only one possibility, and that's that I'm useless. But I'm a man with a healthy body and mind, and not just healthy. He smiled wickedly and he was abominably pleased. Tao Yuan tried to comfort herself that he was just scaring her, but with his evil gaze the scene from last night gradually became clear. She drank a lot and then he suddenly barged in, and then, it was like dry firewood in a raging fire, so crazy. Seeing her face turn pale and red, it wasn't difficult for Lu Li to guess what she was thinking, and he asked with a smile that didn't seem like a smile. Were you satisfied last night? You're shameless. She wanted to slap him, but he easily caught it. The man didn't even frown and his smile was still so dazzling. You're behaving atrociously just after sex? Who wants to do it with you? You're strong. Her slender body was trembling with anger. Tao Yuan couldn't believe that she would be abused like this again and by Lu Li. Her stomach churned and she almost vomited. Everything last night was natural and I admit that I was in charge, but you cooperated with me. And you enjoyed it. I didn't. You're the one who took advantage of me. You say that, but your body's reaction is completely different. Of course it's normal and not something to be ashamed of. Don't be in a hurry to deny it. That night 3 years ago Was last night not enough? How else do you want to humiliate me? That's not what I mean. Lu Li's expression became serious. That night 3 years ago you weren't violated, right? Tao Yuan laughed coldly. You mean that I'm lying? But why would I lie? Do I like to humiliate myself to gain your sympathy? Do I want to make you feel guilty? That's not what I mean. Last night was your first time. What did you say? Last night you kept screaming in pain and you were bleeding. There are still traces of your blood on the sofa. Maybe it's because you're too rough. No, I clearly felt that layer of membrane. That night, are you sure that happened? Tao Yuan recalled. That night, your mother and sister tricked me into the room, and then someone pinned me down on the bed. I resisted with all my might, but he slapped me and I fainted. When I woke up in the morning, I realized that I wasn't wearing anything. Then did you see blood? Tao Yuan shook her head. But my body was in pain. That's what he did to you when he held you down, isn't it? I don't know. Tao Yuan's mind was in a mess. But I fainted, how could he let me go? I'm not sure about that, but I'm very sure that last night was your first time. Tao Yuan, you weren't raped. Lu Li emphasized. She was completely stunned, unable to digest this fact for a while. She had always thought that she was raped and she lived with this shame for 2 to 3 years, often having nightmares. But now he was actually telling her that she wasn't raped? She couldn't differentiate the different feelings at all. Thinking of the psychological trauma she had suffered in the past 3 years, Tao Yuan suddenly became angry. Do you think that you can wash away your sins like this? Even if you failed, you are still the executioner. Her hatred was still strong. She would never forgive the person who pushed her into hell in this life. I didn't know about that incident before and I only found out later. When I arrived at the hotel the next day, you had already left. The reason why I lied to you was because I wanted you to hate me. I know that you haven't been well these few years, but I have also been condemned in my heart. Lu Li's guilty expression in Tao Yuan's eyes was a joke. He, a heartless person will also blame himself? I just want to tell you that I didn't join forces with them, but I am also responsible for that incident. I'm sorry. Lu Li tried to hold her hand, but she shook it off. Let go, you don't have the right to touch me. No matter what, I'm very grateful that I didn't make a big mistake that night. You don't have to be traumatized. He said it casually, but to Tao Yuan, it was a deeper irony. The psychological trauma has already been caused. How do you think I can get rid of it? I'm sorry, please let me make it up to you. Chapter 547. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. Don't pretend. If you really wanted to make up for it, you wouldn't have taken advantage of me last night. To you, maybe I'm just a woman with a higher class than a prostitute. I don't think so. At least now, I don't think so. Did you forget what I said last night? You love me? Ha, even a 3-year-old child wouldn't believe this kind of lie. Do you think my IQ is lower than a 3-year-old child's? Lu Li tried to explain, but he knew her personality too well. If he kept emphasizing it now, it would only make her more disgusted. He shouldn't push her too hard. The best way for her was to prove it with time. Let's not talk about this now. I'll tell you a few things first. First, I've never thought about getting back together with Tao Yanran. I haven't thought about it since we separated and I won't in the future. So, don't keep pushing me to her. We've only seen each other a few times since she came back, and we haven't slept together. If I can, I'm willing to show you my heart to prove this. Tao Yuan couldn't help but want to believe him again. She felt that she would be buried in those fake sincere eyes for the rest of her life. He was clearly a liar who lied without blinking. During this time I've been thinking about you. At first I thought it was because I was unwilling. I was unwilling that you didn't have a good life as I did, and I was unwilling that you were surrounded by so many men. However, in the process I was always attracted to you. It was like a foot in a hole and I fell deeper and deeper. When I realized that I wanted to pull it out, it was already too late. I didn't even have time to think about Yanran. He, who had always been calm, became agitated as he spoke. She really isn't that important to me anymore. After a while, she will completely become a thing of the past and you will talk about my present and future. What happened last night was not a surprise to you or me. You still have feelings for me and I've fallen in love with you. Don't say that I don't believe every word that comes out of your mouth. Even if it's true, what makes you think that I'll come back to you after so many things have happened? Am I so cheap in your eyes that I'll go back as long as you wave your hand? Tao Yuan shook her head. Even saying these words was shameful, let alone doing it. Giving up is something that accumulates over a long period of time, not a sudden one. How do you expect me to turn back? Since we can't turn back, let's start anew. Lu Li stubbornly looked into her eyes. All I want is a chance. Tao Yuan, give me a chance. She covered her ears. I don't want to hear anything now. Leave. Tao Yuan, leave. Lu Li hesitated for a moment and decided to give her some space. All right, I'll leave first. But I want you to know that my determination to start over with you is very firm. I am definitely not playing with your feelings. Ouyang Shua didn't sleep that night. When the sky was just beginning to brighten, he received a call from Tao Yanran. After a morning jog, he went straight to her hotel. As soon as he opened the door, he almost fainted from the pungent smell of alcohol. Tao Yanran sat on the ground with disheveled hair. Her eyes were sunken and she had lost a lot of weight. It was hard to imagine that this change happened overnight. The two of them had known each other for several years. Tao Yanran was a charming woman. He was almost bewitched by her at that time. A proud woman who always wore exquisite makeup and attracted the attention of countless men, showed him her most embarrassing appearance for the first time. It could be seen that she had suffered a big blow last night. However, Ouyang Shua didn't feel anything. Not to mention heartache, he didn't even have a trace of sympathy. The two of them were just allies. He had never taken her seriously. What kind of blow did you suffer? TSK, poor thing. Tao Yanran was still holding a bottle of wine in her hand. Her eyes were red, and the hatred was like a poisonous glint drilling out from the bottom of her eyes. Kill Tao Yuan for me. I don't care what method you use. You can do it yourself or hire someone to kill her. Kill her for me. Ouyang Shua shrugged and sat down on the chair. He put his hands on both sides and crossed his legs. Miss, you have to go to jail for murder. I'm not a killer, useless. Tao Yanran threw a bottle of wine at him. Ouyang Shua tilted his head and easily dodged it. Bang! The broken pieces of the bottle flew all over the wall. A large piece was also splashed on his back. Ouyang Shua smiled. It's not good for a woman to be so violent. I hate her. I want her dead. Why can't I be compared to her? Why does Lu Li want her and not me? What are you talking about? Didn't you say he loves you? I thought so too. But if he loves me, he wouldn't have pushed me away last night. I've already pleased him like a lowly prostitute, but he still doesn't want me. He must have gone to find that bitch. So. Ouyang Shua didn't take it seriously and said perfunctorily. Men are like this. They have a red rose and they want a white one. Maybe he's just looking for novelty. Male animals are born with a desire to conquer. The more Tao Yuan ignores him, the more he wants to conquer her. When he gets her, he quickly loses interest. You don't know him at all. He's not that kind of person. In the past, when he only had me in his heart, he wouldn't look at other women. He must have fallen in love with Tao Yuan. Tao Yanran screamed. Her hair was disheveled and she looked haggard like a mental patient. Hatred was the only reason that kept her alive. How could he fall in love with her? She was raped. Doesn't he think it's dirty? Why would he rather have a raped woman than me? Ouyang Shua didn't say anything. He never told Tao Yanran that he didn't rape Tao Yuan that night. He planned it that way at the time, but Tao Yuan fainted. He didn't have a hobby of raping corpses. Or it could be said that at that time, his humanity hadn't been completely obliterated. He just created an illusion to make Tao Yuan think that she was raped. However, this misunderstanding only lasted until last night. He was sure that she and Lu Li had sex last night. This was probably the reason why he couldn't sleep all night. In short, this caused him trouble. He thought about it over and over again as he crushed a goblet. The shards pierced his fingers and he silently watched the blood flow down. If he had been more ruthless that night 3 years ago, perhaps he wouldn't have been so upset last night. But did he really want to hurt her? Now he wasn't sure. Temporarily putting those worries to the back of his mind, Ouyang Shua's expression was very calm from beginning to end, making people unable to understand him. So, you're just going to admit defeat? Admit defeat? Impossible. How could I admit defeat? Even if I die, I will drag that woman down with me. Ouyang Shua applauded. That's right, I appreciate your courage to perish together, but I also have to say that this is too stupid. With a hint of ridicule, he lightly smiled. Being provoked by a moment of emotion, losing your calm and then losing everything, is this the result you want? Of course not. Then let's continue according to our plan. You crying like this, other than embarrassing yourself, what good is there? To be honest, he really looked down on this kind of woman. If she didn't still have value, he wouldn't be bothered to coax her. Don't worry with me here, you're already halfway there. Ouyang Shua said with certainty. He and Tao Yanran were both cunning foxes, but it was clear that his skills far surpassed hers. Really? Can I still trust you now? Tao Yuan can even confuse Lu Li, I think it's only a matter of time before she takes you down. Who knows, she might even turn her spear to me. Ouyang Shua's eyebrows sank, his seemingly indifferent attitude was mixed with a hint of warning. Don't compare me with Lu Li, I hate this kind of comparison. Tao Yinran was in a very bad mood, but she didn't dare to touch Ouyang Shua's bottom line, so she didn't say anything. In short, if you are also confused by that woman, I will look down on you. Tao Yuan lay in bed for the whole morning before getting up. Too many things had happened today and her heart was in a mess. In the end, she thought that she would just take it as being bitten by a dog. In any case, she thought that her membrane had already disappeared 3 years ago. Walking to the living room, the snow-white sofa was stained with bright red blood, a symbol of her chastity. Eehee, how ironic. She got a basin of water and forcefully wiped the blood stains clean, over and over again as if she was venting her anger. Until there was only a very faint mark left, she still felt that it was very glaring, and she couldn't ignore it no matter what. She knew that the blood stains were branded in her heart and could never be erased. Anxious and angry, she sat on the ground and cried. In the end, she called the neighborhood security guard and gave him the sofa. Sitting alone on the empty living room floor, the more she sat, the more depressed she became. She called Panchi. Accompany me to buy furniture. After leaving Tao Yuan's house, Lu Li stayed downstairs for a while before leaving. He was not in a very good mood, and drove alone aimlessly on the streets for more than an hour. He called Lin Yuqing but no one picked up, so he went directly to his villa. Young Master Lu, you're here. Sister Qin, the housekeeper, bowed respectfully. Lu Li nodded and strode inside. Where is he? Young Master is still resting. It's already 12 o'clock. Sister Qin shrugged, indicating that she was already used to it. What could she, as a servant, say about her master's impudent behavior? Lu Li went upstairs and was about to push the door open when Sister Qin awkwardly advised him. You better not go in. There's a woman? Yes. Lu Li knew that it would be strange if Lin Yuqing didn't go into heat at night. He directly pushed the door open. Lu Li frowned. He felt nauseous just by looking at her. Go and wake him up. I'll wait in the study. In the study. Lu Li crossed his long legs and held a cigarette between his fingers, puffing out clouds of smoke. Even if he looked a little impatient, he still looked very charming. After smoking a few cigarettes, he looked at his watch. It had been 10 minutes. He had always been impatient. The door opened. Lin Yuqing, with a messy bird's nest hairstyle, covered in a bathrobe, walked in with his head down. His eyes were half closed and he couldn't even open them. He sat on the sofa lazily. Sister Qin, he shouted weakly at the top of his voice. My coffee? He squinted one eye and looked at Lu Li with an incomparably broken expression. Chapter 548. It's already 12 o'clock. He blew a smoke ring at him. I only slept for 6 hours yesterday. Lu Li flicked the cigarette ash, his eyes full of disdain. You weren't the only one who had sex last night. To be precise, what you did is called animal mating. You did it too? So had. Lin Yuqing wailed again. You didn't come all the way here just to show off, did you? Please, is it necessary? Lu Li raised his eyebrows in pride. Sister Qin came in with a cup of coffee. Lin Yuqing took a sip and sobered up a little. His slender fingers rubbed his temples and he slowly regained consciousness. I'm different from you, I'm playing with my wife. Tao Yuan? Are you kidding me? 3 years ago, wasn't she? Under that dangerous gaze, Lin Yuqing swallowed his words in time. You know, last night was her first time and she bled. Bleeding can't prove it, right? Seems like some women will. I'm sure it was her first time. That night, the person deliberately created an illusion. Damn, who's so perverted. But no matter what, congratulations. Otherwise, this will haunt you for the rest of your life. Lu Li didn't say anything and 2 puffs of smoke slowly came out of his nose. It would be a lie to say that he didn't mind, but what right did he have to mind? He could only blame himself and hate himself. But she wasn't violated, which was a big surprise in his life. Even he who didn't believe in fate, felt grateful for fate for the first time. Lin Yuqing regained his spirit and asked seriously. So you guys reconciled? Not yet, she hates me now. Of course. Being stared at by the man again, Lin Yuqing laughed dryly. But it's only a matter of time before you guys reconcile. Of course. Lu Li's expression softened. I want to get her back. Then Tao Yanran, she and I are already in the past. Lin Yuqing observed his expression without batting an eyelid. His eyes were very calm, and his tone was also very calm and unperturbed. There was no reluctance or regret. It seemed like it was really in the past. If that's the case, then stop looking left and right. In this society, it wasn't easy to meet someone you loved. You see, I haven't found the right girl. As a brother, I'm quite envious of you. Don't spout such useless nonsense. Lu Li stubbed out his cigarette and asked seriously. Quick, help me come up with an idea. How should I pursue her? You're asking me, then you're definitely asking the wrong person. Don't think that I have so many girlfriends, but I've always been pursued by others since I was young. I haven't spent any time on any woman, so I don't know. If you want to die, just say it. Lin Yuqing trembled helplessly. I'm telling the truth. Why don't you give her a gift? Women like jewelry, bags, and famous brands. That woman in my house is not an ordinary woman. Either the heart or the kidneys. If it's your heart, then give her a lot of love. Think about what she likes, cater to her preferences, and let her truly feel your concern. Kidney transplant, hee. She doesn't even let me touch her now. Lin Yuqing didn't care. You really won't touch her if she doesn't let you? Let me tell you, women are especially duplicitous in this regard. If she really didn't let you touch her, would you have broken her last night? Lu Li thought about it and finally said something useful. No matter how much Tao Yuan hated him with her words, her body still had feelings for him and she responded honestly. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been so perfect the first time. Thinking of this, Lu Li's mood suddenly became much better, and he already had a lot of plans in his mind. Lin Yuqing sighed in his heart. Men in love were indeed all the same. Their IQs were in the negative, and they liked to worry about nothing. How could a smart man like him give up the whole forest for a small blade of grass and annoy himself to that extent? Well, definitely not. Looks like you really care about it. If there's anything you need me to do, just tell me. Just say the word and I'll do anything for you. Lu Li immediately expressed. There's no need for that, but you can really come in handy. Lin Yuqing felt bitter. He was just saying it casually. Furniture City. The shopping guide had been following Tao Yuan enthusiastically, asking her about her preferences and selling her a variety of styles. Tao Yuan originally didn't dislike these things, but when she was in a bad mood, the shopping guide's voice annoyed her a little, and she couldn't help but interrupt her. We'll take a look ourselves first and we'll look for you if we need anything. There are a few more over there, there's really no need. You can go and greet other customers. Then you guys take a look first, call me if there's anything. It seems that someone is in a bad mood today. As soon as the shopping guide left, Pan Chi said. In the past, you were the worst at rejecting shopping guides, saying that it's not easy for them to promote products, and even advised me to be patient with them. Tao Yuan instinctively denied it. No, it's just that you have to try it yourself to know. It's useless for her to say too much. Come on, we've been friends for so many years, what can you hide from my eyes? I also know that it's because of that bastard Lu Li again. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to hear his name, but I don't want a divorce. Pan Chi rolled her eyes and muttered softly. Don't you think that he's more annoying in front of you? Tao Yuan tried the sofas one by one. What do you think of this leather sofa? Didn't you like fabric sofas before? And you like light colors, don't you think this brown one is too dark? Really? I don't think so. Subconsciously, Tao Yuan felt that the leather sofa was easy to take care of. If it was a dark color, even if it was dirty, it wouldn't be seen, unlike today, where she felt that it was glaring and couldn't be wiped off no matter how hard she tried. Of course, she also knew that she was deceiving herself and others, and it was useless at all. Your sofa has only been used for half a year, and it's already broken? It's dirty, so I threw it away. A thrifty person like you would actually throw away a sofa that has only been used for half a year? Something's wrong. What's wrong? Hey, I asked you to choose a sofa, not to interrogate me. Tao Yuan quickly stood up. This one, I'll pay for it. Pan Chi shook her head. There must be a ghost, there must be a ghost. After buying the furniture, the two of them went shopping in the mall. Pan Chi went to the bathroom and Tao Yuan sat in the same seat, playing with her mobile phone. It was the first day of the new year, and everywhere was decorated with lanterns, full of festive atmosphere, but she couldn't be infected by the happy atmosphere at all. Sister-in-law, what a coincidence. Tao Yuan turned her head and saw Lin Yuqing standing in front of her with a cheeky smile on his face. She admitted that Lin Yuqing was a good-looking man, but he was famous for being a playboy and most importantly he was Lu Li's friend. She had a very bad impression of him, so she forced a smile. Yes. Shopping alone? No, with my friend. Oh, then you don't mind if I sit down? Before she could answer, Lin Yuqing had already sat down shamelessly. Tao Yuan actually wanted to say that she did mind. I haven't seen you for half a month, and you've become even more beautiful. You're glowing, radiant, and rosy. Lin Yuqing flattered her in an exaggerated manner. What's the matter? Tao Yuan interrupted him. Lin Yuqing laughed dryly. There was actually a woman who was immune to his sugar-coated bullets. Difficult to deal with, no wonder Lu Li was so troubled. It's just a chance encounter and I wanted to say hello to you. I was stunned by your beauty and I sincerely praised you. Yes, it's definitely from the bottom of my heart. Sister-in-law is indeed my sister-in-law. How can those vulgar women compare to you? Tao Yuan's lips twitched. During the first year of my marriage with Lu Li, you fooled around with him a lot. How many vulgar women have you called sister-in-law? Lin Yuqing's smile froze. You're really good at joking. Those vulgar women are just fleeting clouds in the business world. There's only one sister-in-law and there will always be only one. His expression was like that of the most loyal soldier, and Tao Yuan found it hilarious to look at him. Birds of a feather flock together. Lu Li's friends were really not good people. If it were anyone else, they would definitely feel embarrassed when Tao Yuan mocked them in front of their faces. But Lin Yuqing's advantage was that he was thick-skinned, so he laughed and did not think much of it and praised her fiercely. However, Tao Yuan had long become immune to sweet nothings. Even if Lin Yuqing praised her to the skies, she was still unmoved. This place is not big, but it's not small either. I don't believe that it's a coincidence. Did Lu Li send you here? Ah, sister-in-law is indeed my sister-in-law. I can't hide anything from you. Amazing. If there's wine now, I'll definitely toast you 3 times. Don't be polite. No matter what he asks you to say, I don't want to hear it. Don't be like this, sister-in-law. My brother really knows his mistake this time. Can't you give him a chance? Tao Yuan smiled slightly, but there was no emotion in her eyes, only alienation. Don't call me sister-in-law. We're not that close. We didn't know each other before, so you have some misunderstandings about me. That's why we need to interact more. The point is not who asked me to come. The point is that what I'm going to say next is the truth. Her smiling face became a little more serious. Actually, as early as more than a month ago, my brother said that his feelings for you were different from before. Wasn't the company's anniversary dinner to make up for your wedding anniversary? I told him at that time that it was related to your reputation and asked him to think about it carefully. What he meant was that he wanted to start over with you. That's what he told me before the dinner started. But who knew that Tao Yanran would suddenly come back that day? I can guarantee you with my integrity that my brother didn't know about it before. He was also very surprised, so it's even more impossible that they teamed up to deceive you. Tao Yuan took it as nonsense. She snorted and asked a question. You have integrity too? Hey, I know I'm a bastard, but I definitely didn't lie about this matter. I'll swear with anything you want me to. Maybe you didn't lie. It was Lu Li who lied to you. Chapter 549. Tao Yuan said calmly. You're mistaken. He doesn't care about me. He cares about his pride. That's because he's a straight man. You're either not confident in yourself or you don't know my brother. If he doesn't care about you, he won't care about you. Ask yourself, during this period of time, has he not spent enough effort on you? I know you two had a lot of unhappiness in the past, but a day as husband and wife means a lifetime of love. Since he wants to repent, give him a chance. I see I'm so sincere. Can't you give me some face? Lin Yuqing used his eyes to please her. He was almost wagging his tail like a wolf puppy. Tao Yuan was still indifferent. She felt that she must have been trained to be as tough as steel. Lu Li asked you to be his lobbyist. That can only be described with one word. He entrusted the wrong person. Don't be so cruel, sister-in-law. You're the best. Lin Yuqing couldn't persuade her, so he hugged Tao Yuan's arm and acted like a spoiled child. Sister-in-law, make up with my brother. He'll kill me if you don't, sister-in-law. Sister-in-law? He was trying his best to act like a spoiled child when he suddenly heard an angry roar. Lin Yuqing, you pervert. Then he was pulled up by a brute force and received a tight slap on his face. Lin Yuqing was stunned by the slap. The aggressive woman in front of him made him think that he was hallucinating. Tomboy? Why are you here? F***ck, he couldn't be dreaming, right? Pervert, how dare you lay your hands on my bestie? Are you tired of living? What? Your bestie? Sister-in-law, that tomboy is your bestie? Lin Yuqing wailed in his heart. Just let him die. How can you be a bestie with such a person? What sister-in-law? How can Yuan be your sister-in-law? Who's your brother? Lu Li? Pan Qi and Lin Yuqing had a grudge. When she heard that he was so close to Lu Li, she hated him even more. You two are indeed in cahoots. You two are not good. You're even more despicable. How dare you seduce your own brother's wife? Watch your mouth. What do you mean by hook? I'm trying to persuade them to reconcile. Is there anyone who advises him like that? I can sue you. You're a stud. As long as it's a woman, you'll sleep with her. Lin Yuqing couldn't beat her in a scolding. He couldn't beat her in a scolding since junior high school. Now he could only be so angry that he couldn't speak. He had always been successful with women, but this Pan Chi treated him like a cockroach, scolding and beating him. She was his nemesis. Tao Yuan was dumbfounded. What kind of enmity did these two have for them to start such a big fight as soon as they met? What? You have a guilty conscience so you can't speak, right? A good man doesn't fight with a woman. Hey, you're a good man. You're obviously a scumbag. To people like him, Pan Chi's mouth had always been very vicious. For the sake of sister-in-law, I won't argue with you today. We will meet again in the mountains and rivers. Let's wait and see. Lin Yuqing left in a huff. Pan Chi was still scolding. He didn't take advantage of you, did he? No, he was really just trying to persuade me. You don't know him. He was taking advantage of the opportunity. He's a person with no bottom line. He can even stretch his claws to his brother's woman. Pan Chi was still angry. I didn't expect him to be Lu Li's brother. But it makes sense. Scumbags hang out with scumbags. Both of them are not good people. What kind of deep hatred do you have with him? We were classmates in junior high school. He played with women since junior high school. At that time, several girls in our class had abortions because of him. One of my best friends committed suicide because of him. Thinking of that past, Pan Chi frowned. Later he came to Spain as an exchange student for a year. He was in the same school as me and played with all the prettiest girls in our school. Anyway, I just can't stand him. Tao Yuan nodded. So that's how it is. He's also a notorious playboy. But what can you do? Those girls are all willing to be with him. What can you do? That's why I'm angry. I don't know if there's something wrong with their brains. They actually sent themselves to be played by a scumbag. Tao Yuan knew that Pan Chi was a woman with a strong sense of justice, so she could understand her anger. You and I are willing. We each take what we need. As long as the other party can accept it. Don't worry about it, you macho woman. Pan Chi was still angry, so she raised her fist. Don't let me see him again. Otherwise, I'll beat him up every time I see him. On the second day of the new year, Tao Yuan went to work as usual. The regular meeting was just to boost morale and look forward to the new year. It lasted for 2 hours. After the meeting, she took the contract to the director's office. When she signed, Ouyang Shua teased her. You're really a model worker. You finished 8 projects in a month. Thank you, director. But it would be better if the compliment was not just verbal. She was willing to joke with him, and Ouyang Shua was also in a good mood. That makes sense. To keep a talent like you, a pay raise is a must. How much do you want? How about I give you the salary slip and you fill it out yourself? So generous? Aren't you afraid that I'll fill in 80,000 yuan? You're worth that price. If it doesn't work out, I'll pay the other part out of my own pocket. Tao Yuan was also a practical woman. Since they were talking about this, she took the opportunity to fight for her own interests. It doesn't need that much. Just a few thousand will do. No problem. Also, can I be in charge of the newly opened Wilton City Resort? Don't you like challenging projects? There's only an inspection there. I plan to hand it over to Lao Liang. There's no big or small project. It just so happens that I want to visit a friend there. Leave the inspection task to me. You're using work as an excuse to go there for a holiday, aren't you? Tao Yuan shrugged. You've seen through me. You're usually very tense. A holiday to relax is a good choice. I hope you're not doing it to escape. His casual words stabbed straight into Tao Yuan's heart. So it was obvious? Yes, she wanted to escape from Lu Li. She was afraid that he would continue to pester her, and she didn't know how to face him. She felt very uncomfortable just working in the same place and breathing the same air as him. Escaping for a few days was not a long-term solution, but if she didn't even have space for a few days, she would definitely suffocate to death from the pressure. Ouyang Shua looked at her in silence, his little face slightly pale. He didn't know when it started, but every time he saw her like this, he would have the urge to hug her and comfort her. That kind of thought was getting stronger and stronger. You're not trying to escape from me, are you? Huh. You. Of course not. She directly denied it. Her straightforward attitude really hurt Ouyang Shua a little. Sure enough, he was thinking too much. Of course he was not that self-righteous. He was just joking. But behind every joke there was more or less a sincere meaning. He still hoped that he could have some influence on her, even if it was only a little. Sometimes he clearly knew that he shouldn't say it, but he still blurted it out because of a moment of discomfort in his heart. So it's because of Luli? Her body trembled. That's my private life. Look, when I mention him, you're as tense as a hedgehog. It seems that you really need a holiday. I happen to have nothing to do this week. Shall I accompany you? It's just an inspection. I don't need 2 people. The project department still needs you. The reason was dignified, but she just wanted to have some space for herself and didn't want to be disturbed by him. Up until now he couldn't make her happy, but he was her burden. This was an insult to a man who only needed a look to get a woman, but Ouyang Shua felt more disappointed. He suppressed the feeling in his heart and didn't show it on his face. Okay, then you can leave tomorrow. While Tao Yuan was thinking about how to escape from Lu Li, he was worrying about how to find an excuse to get close to her. Of course, he also knew that no matter what the reason was, she knew it was an excuse. Only 1 day had passed, but he felt like a century of suffering. He wanted to see her every minute and every second. Zhou Xingyang came in to hand in the documents. Lu Li threw it aside irritably after taking a glance, closed his eyes and pinched his eyebrows. Do you want coffee? Zhou Xingyang asked. Lu Li shook his head. He had already drunk 8 cups in one morning, and the more he drank, the more excited he became. Is she at the company? Yes. Manager Tao is going to inspect the new resort tomorrow. He secretly inquired about it early in the morning. Lu Li bounced up from his big office chair. Did she want to avoid him so much? He said without thinking. Book me a ticket on the same flight as her. Yes. Wait, Lu Li stopped him. I want the seat next to her. Tao Yuan's flight was at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the flight time was 5 hours. After finding a seat, she took out a magazine to read. It was close to takeoff time, and the stewardess led a tall passenger over and said enthusiastically, "Hello, this is your seat." Thank you. Tao Yuan was listening to music with headphones and inadvertently looked up. Pa! The magazine fell to the ground. She looked as if she had seen a ghost. Lu Li, he was scarier than a ghost. The man was dressed in a smart suit, mature and handsome. He bent down to pick up the magazine and returned it to her. The smile on the corner of his mouth was beautiful. Hey, what a coincidence. Tao Yuan quickly took off her headphones and stared at him with a frown, as if he would disappear into thin air. You are also going to inspect? He asked, calmly sat down and unbuttoned his suit. The suit was open and the snow-white shirt inside was exquisite. He was a man who was impeccable in every detail. How could she believe this was a coincidence? Recovering from speechlessness, Tao Yuan opened her mouth helplessly. Can't you give me a bit of privacy? Do you have to be so persistent? We just happened to go to inspect together and then we happened to be on the same flight and I happened to be sitting next to you. Tao Yuan rolled her eyes with an expression that said, How can I believe your nonsense? Your seat should be in first class. I have been sitting in first class for too long, so I changed my taste occasionally. It just happened to be next to you. What a coincidence. He lied with a straight face, and the more Tao Yuan listened, the angrier she became. She put the magazine and headphones back into the bag and stood up. The economy class was narrow, and his long legs were placed there, blocking her way. Take your legs away. You are leaving? Of course, how could I go with you? Just thinking of the 5 hours on the plane was hard for her, let alone a week of inspection. Chapter 550. Lu Li moved his upper body lazily, but his legs did not move at all. He looked at her leisurely with no intention of letting her go. Unfortunately, Tao Yuan was wearing a tight skirt that day, and it was not appropriate for her to step over his legs, so she could only push his legs. I asked you to move, did he hear me? Hey, why are you such a rascal? What's the matter? The stewardess came over and asked. I want to get off the plane and he is blocking my way. The stewardess looked at Lu Li in confusion. He smiled and grabbed Tao Yuan's hand. Sorry, my wife is not happy with me. You are a husband and wife. The stewardess was surprised and a little disappointed. She had been thinking about how to ask him for his number. Sure enough, all good men were married. Don't talk nonsense, you. Aren't you my wife? Lu Li raised his eyebrows and his handsome face looked a little evil, with a different kind of charm. You dare to say that you are not Mrs. Lu? It's not like that at all. Tao Yuan did not know how to explain. I know it's my fault. I was so busy with work that I neglected you. I promised to go to Venice with you, but I stood you up. But I did it for our family. Don't leave alone in a fit of pique, okay? Look, I'm making time to go back to your parents' home with you. Lu Li said it very sincerely, looking like a good man. But only Tao Yuan could see through the teasing in his eyes. This man was too good at making up stories, and he did not even blink when he lied. Madam, your husband is really good. Men are all focused on their careers, so it's understandable. The stewardess helped to speak up, and even the passengers next door began to help. He deliberately chased you to the plane, just forgive him. That's right, husband and wife always fight in bed. Your husband is very handsome. Everyone was on Lu Li's side, and it looked like Tao Yuan was being unreasonable. The corners of his mouth curled up proudly. The plane is about to take off, please sit down. Tao Yuan could only sit back down, feeling extremely depressed. He was really good at mobilizing the masses. If you're so good at acting, why don't you apply for an Oscar? Lu Li whispered in her ear. Don't be angry, dear Mrs. Lu. Stay away from me. I have nothing to do with you. I have the marriage certificate with me. Do you want to see it? Tao Yuan glared at him. You know that I'm avoiding you. Can't you give me some space? Do you have to be so forceful? You're even more annoying like this. I don't mean to force you. I just want to go on a business trip with you. You can treat me as a superior or an ordinary friend. That's easy for you to say. I can't do it. There are a lot of things in the world that are just people worrying over nothing. In fact, it's not that serious. You just need to relax. What he said made sense, but he didn't think about what he had done to make her hate him so much. If it was so easy to forgive, then there wouldn't be so much hatred. The stewardess came over to deliver the drinks. Milk, so does my wife. Tao Yuan had wanted milk at first, but after hearing what he said, she deliberately went against his tune. Who asked you to decide for me? I want coffee. You've drunk enough in the office. Women tend to get irritable when they drink too much coffee. Your husband is very considerate, the stewardess said enviously. Ignoring her opinion, she poured 2 glasses of milk. Tao Yuan felt like she had to suffer in silence, unable to express her bitterness. She had really lost all hope in this society that valued appearance. Lu Li had a good appearance, so whatever he said or did was right. She could only suffer. Didn't you sleep well last night? Tao Yuan ignored him. There are dark circles under my eyes. She still ignored him. You can rest on the plane. She turned her face sideways to him and gestured with her hands. There's a barrier between us. You can't hear anything you say. Don't you think it's childish to play this game? It's better than stalking others. Okay. Lu Li shrugged and took out a financial magazine. Tao Yuan put on her headphones and took out a few documents about the resort. When she wanted to mark it, she couldn't find a pen anywhere. A pen was handed to her. She pushed it away. I don't want your things. I'm the guilty one. Why are you arguing with a pen? It's innocent. Tao Yuan thought about it and felt that it made sense, so she took it. It was more than an hour after she finished reading the documents. She stretched her neck and turned to look. Lu Li had already fallen asleep. She had to say that he slept very well. His face was relaxed, his breathing was even, and he was very quiet. Moreover, the way he slept was not as hateful as when he was awake. It was probably because his eyes were too sharp that she felt very uncomfortable. As she looked at him, a mischievous idea suddenly popped up in her mind. She waved her hand in front of him, but he didn't respond. He should be asleep. So she moved closer and carefully extended the tip of the pen to his face, preparing to draw a turtle. Her hand trembled violently because she couldn't hold back her laughter. Just as the pen was about to land on his face, the pair of sharp eyes suddenly opened, and then he grabbed her wrist. Tao Yuan, who was about to do something naughty, was startled and let out an ah. The corners of his mouth curled into a smirk, revealing his snow-white teeth. You just said that I was childish. What are you doing now? What did I do? I just wanted to return the pen to you. Really? Are you sure you're not planning to draw on my face? Tao Yuan laughed awkwardly. How could I do such a childish thing? Stop talking nonsense and let go of me. Let go. Do you hear me? She struggled a few times. Only then did Lu Li let go of her. She hurriedly pushed the pen back to him. I'll give it back to you. I don't want it anymore. I forgot to wear a condom. Lu Li put the pen back into the pocket of his suit. Speaking of which, I just remembered that I forgot to wear a condom that night. If you're worried that I'm pregnant, then you can rest assured that I've already taken the medicine. Tao Yuan snorted sarcastically. I don't want children either. It's really not a good time to have children now. Lu Li's idea was that their relationship was not good at the moment and they should wait for things to settle down before thinking about children. But in Tao Yuan's ears, He was reminding her that he was afraid that she would cause trouble for him. She felt upset and replied angrily. Of course, who would want children when they're divorcing? That's not what I meant. But that's what I meant. That night was a mistake and it won't happen again. Without waiting for him to speak, she had already put on her headphones and closed her eyes. As soon as they landed, Tao Yuan couldn't wait to get up and leave. Luli stood up at the same time. When she tried to squeeze out, she bumped into his chest and the two of them rubbed against each other several times. Get out of my way. She gave him a shove and ran away faster than a rabbit. When she got out of the airport, the company car was already parked at the entrance. Manager Zhang, whom Tao Yuan had contacted before, came to pick her up in person. Hello, Manager Tao. Hello, Manager Zhang. Let's go. The president hasn't arrived yet. Should we wait for him? Then I'll go back to the hotel first. Don't be in such a hurry, the president is here. Manager Zhang hurried up to carry the suitcase for Lu Li. The two of them were forced to share the same car. Tao Yuan squeezed into the window and stayed far away from Lu Li. Manager Zhang asked. How was the trip? Not very. Tao Yuan said annoyedly. I met a pervert who keeps pestering me. It's so annoying. Pervert? Manager Zhang was very surprised. Yes, he keeps pestering me like a fly. I can't get rid of him no matter what. She deliberately glanced at Lu Li. The man was still smiling, but he just lifted his eyelids slightly. Maybe Manager Tao is too charming, so the other party keeps chasing after you. In other words, he keeps pestering me. No woman will like this kind of person. If you are willing to give him a chance, maybe you will find his good points. Always looking at the other party with the past eyes, there will be resistance from the heart. It is tantamount to binding yourself in a cocoon and you will miss a lot of opportunities. Tao Yuan smiled mockingly. Some people I have already understood thoroughly. Annoying people will always be so annoying, it is impossible to change. Those opportunities I would rather not have. Manager Zhang inexplicably smelled a trace of gunpowder smoke. He always felt that there was a hidden meaning in their words, but he didn't understand it all. At 6 o'clock that night, Tao Yuan was invited to participate in the ribbon-cutting event of the new area of the resort. The person in charge of receiving her was a young girl named Jia Xiao, who spoke carelessly and had a very cute personality. During the event, Jia Xiao kept looking at Lu Li like a love-struck fool. Manager Tao, I envy you so much. What? In your hotel you can see the president every day, right? So happy. Jia Xiao's eyes could not leave Lu Li at all, as if looking at him one more time was good. Of course, Jia Xiao was not the only one looking at him. All the female staff, female managers, female reporters, and female tourists were looking at him, as if they had never seen a man in their previous life. Tao Yuan was a smart woman. No matter how much she hated Lu Li in his territory, she would not be stupid enough to say bad things about him. She only replied, Not bad. What do you mean not bad? You are so happy, okay? The president is so handsome, it will definitely be good to see him every day. Oh, I can't breathe. In my life, I have only seen one man who can rival the president, and that is Boss Si Wenchen. Have you seen him before? He is a few years older than the president, a mature uncle type, and also very charming. Si Wenchen was a legendary person in the whole city. Tao Yuan had only seen him once, and since then he had become the #1 male idol in her heart. Most importantly, that man was famous for his doting on his wife and his power. He could be said to be perfect. Comparing Lu Li to Si Wenchen was simply an insult to him, okay? She looked over and saw Lu Li standing among a group of well-dressed celebrities, holding a glass of champagne in his hand, talking and laughing with them. He was polite and well-dressed, and he did not live up to his reputation of being a beast in human clothing. He turned his head and smiled at her under the golden lights. It was especially gentle and she couldn't help but hold her breath and look away. His smile deepened. Oh, Manager Tao, you know that the president is married, right? What kind of woman is his wife? I only know that she has the same surname as you, but I don't know anything else. Jia Xiao gossiped. The staff of the new resort were all locals, and most of them were rookies, so she was not very clear about the relationship between the Lu family. Tao Yuan replied. Not bad, she is a very outstanding woman. She gave herself a pertinent evaluation. Really? But they all said that she is very ordinary and the president hates her. Chapter 551. Tao Yuan thought that she must have done something unforgivable in her past life to fall into Lu Li's hands. Outsiders were envious of her good life, but only she knew the bitterness in her heart. There was a beautiful lady among the guests. She was the popular actress Xiao Shan, the goddess of otakus. She had the looks, the figure, and the acting skills. Tao Yuan had seen her movies. Her acting skills were not bad. But just based on that face alone, watching her eat sunflower seeds would probably take 2 hours. Xiao Shan had given Tao Yuan the impression of a noble and cold woman. But in front of Lu Li she did not put on the airs of a goddess. She smiled charmingly and passionately. Her intentions were obvious when she whispered into his ear. Even Jia Xiao could see it and kept saying, "Look at how charming the CEO is. Even goddess Qiao can't control herself." If no one else was there, she would have already pounced on him. Tao Yuan smiled. This Xiao Shan was Lu Li's type. What type? Of course it was the vixen type. For example, Tao Yen ran. After the event, they had a meal with the directors and shareholders of the new resort. There were more than 10 of them around a big round table. Sitting next to Lu Li was naturally the charming Xiao Shan. Tao Yuan had specially chosen a seat furthest from him. Thinking about it, it was unnecessary. With Xiao Shan accompanying him, he probably wouldn't even know her surname. During the meal, Xiao Shan kept toasting Lu Li, fawning over him in front of so many people and flattering him. The male directors could only look at her huge breasts with envy and flatter Lu Li. "CO, our goddess Qiao doesn't usually attend meals. She can't even carry a sedan chair. You're the one who has the face." "That's right. Beauties love heroes. We can only stare and envy. Haha. The president is really lucky with women. What's the point of a man's career success? Conquering goddess Qiao is the real deal." In the face of everyone's flattery, Lu Li was unmoved. He hated these kinds of dinners the most. If it wasn't for a certain someone, he definitely wouldn't have come. Unfortunately, a certain someone only lowered his head and ate the fish, not even sparing him a glance. Eat, eat, eat. All he knew was to eat. Was he not as attractive as a fish? "Manager Tao, is the fish delicious?" he suddenly asked. Tao Yuan didn't know that she was the topic of conversation. She didn't react until she noticed that everyone was staring at her. "What? Hey, is this fish delicious?" She opened her mouth and said dryly. "That is not bad. I heard it's the signature dish here." "Really?" No wonder he was so engrossed in eating that he didn't even raise his head. "If you like it, we can have another one." Tao Yuan did not like this kind of attention and laughed awkwardly. "Ah, there's no need." Xiao Shan sensitively sensed something unusual between the two of them. Although Lu Li was the main character, he didn't say much tonight. She thought he was a man of few words. After all, a man who could sit in the position of CEO was certainly not a superficial person. Now he actually took the initiative to ask this Manager Tao, which meant that she was very special in his heart. Who exactly was she? "This is indeed the signature dish of our resort. You can't eat it anywhere else. If CEO likes it, how about we order a few more?" "No need." Lu Li put on a meaningful smile and said in a low voice. "It's already a pleasure to see Manager Tao enjoying it so much." Tao Yuan secretly swallowed her saliva. She felt that she was the fish, his food. Xiao Shan didn't want to be left out. She quickly said a few words to bring the attention back to herself. At this time, Jia Xiao probably had a few more drinks and suddenly said, "CEO, aren't you married?" Xiao Shan's face turned pale. Tao Yuan almost laughed out loud. She was a little gloating. There was an awkward silence for a second, and then everyone began to smooth things over. "Ah, so what if he has a wife? Nowadays, which capable man doesn't have a few women? Conquering a woman is not a skill. Conquering a dozen at the same time is a skill. Especially RCO, how can one woman be enough? Isn't it? It's normal for men to play around outside. Which one of them doesn't have a red flag at home and a colorful flag fluttering outside? This shows that he is charming." Tao Yuan secretly felt ironic. She had dealt with many so-called successful people like this. They looked good on the surface, but they spent every day outside drinking and playing with women as a way to show off. It was really disgusting. She couldn't eat anymore. "CEO, I heard that your Mrs. Lu is not very favored. Is the relationship not good?" Someone drank too much and dared to ask about Lu Li's private life. After a few years of marriage, even the best relationship will fade. No matter how fragrant the flowers at home are, they can't be as fragrant as wildflowers. That's right, of course it's the women outside that are fresh and exciting. Ah. These people who were talking couldn't feel it, but Xiao Shan, who was sitting next to Lu Li, felt a gust of cold wind. Lu Li's face darkened imperceptibly. In this society, money, fame, and women are very tempting, but those who fall into it are those who have poor self-control. To judge a man's success, it's not by how many women he has conquered, but by how he treats his wife. My wife and I have a good relationship now, and it will continue to be so, you don't need to worry. This was the longest sentence Luli had said that night. His tone wasn't harsh, but it was clear that he was unhappy. That imposing aura made them lower their heads involuntarily. This bootlicking had really gone too far, and it was too late to regret it. CO is right, CO is a good man. We all have to learn from CO, they awkwardly tried to smooth things over. After the meal, the next round was karaoke. Tao Yuan couldn't even make it through the meal, so she found an excuse to avoid the second round. When she walked out of the hotel, the moon was just right. The moonlight was like a silver plate, bright and clear. She looked at her phone and saw that it was the 16th day of the new year. The cold air made her sober up a little. It was a little cold, but it was much more comfortable than before. She had been in the workplace for a few years and was already used to the beasts in human clothing at meals and social interactions, but she still resisted it from the bottom of her heart. Every time a meal started, she would look forward to it ending quickly. The resort was huge and the hotel was quite a distance away from where she was staying. She decided to walk back to sober up. A hand patted her left shoulder. When she turned back, the man had already walked to her right. Didn't you go to karaoke? Boring and noisy activities, who wants to participate? Luli said with disdain. Then you can choose other more exciting activities. What are you referring to? Tao Yuan mocked. Goddess Chow is looking forward to it. The man shrugged. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play dumb. From the ribbon-cutting ceremony to the meal, Goddess Chow can't wait to pounce on you and strip you clean. She's also your type, isn't she? Luli touched his lips and said slowly. If we're talking about likes, I really do like her, but forget about the others. Her makeup is too thick and her perfume is too strong. Don't you like this type? I used to, but now I like those who are pretty and comfortable to look at. For example, you. I like you. Tao Yuan rolled her eyes. So you've eaten too much meat and fish and you want to change to some light dishes? But I'm sorry, I'm not on your menu. Luli smiled. You're quite humorous. Tao Yuan put on a fake smile. You misunderstood. This is called sarcasm. Do you want to go back and rest? Yes. I want to go back too. The moon is nice today, it's a good time to take a walk together. The man suggested in a very natural manner. Luli suggested to take a walk together. Tao Yuan complained inwardly. Why was he like a piece of sticky candy? She couldn't get rid of him. It was so annoying. I like walking alone. It's safer to walk together. Luli was already walking side by side with him. Who knows if we'll meet a pervert? I've already met one. In order to shorten the time, Tao Yuan deliberately walked very fast. But walking in high heels was tantamount to self-torture. Soon she couldn't take it anymore. Are you in a hurry to take a walk? She ignored him, endured the pain, and continued to walk very fast. To prevent her from crippling her leg, Luli blocked in front of her. Listen to me for a few words. I know you're going on a business trip to avoid me. I also want to give you space, but I miss you very much. I can't stand you being so far away from me. He sighed helplessly. For this week, let's not think about or mention the past. Let's just treat it as two colleagues going on a business trip together, okay? Tao Yuan wanted to say that it wasn't that easy, but Luli's eyes were filled with a rare pleading look. The man who had always been high and mighty had lowered his posture in arrogance. For a moment, it was really hard for her to refuse. The words of rejection were clearly on the tip of her tongue, but she couldn't say it out. Actually, thinking about it, even if she said no, would he really give up? Obviously not. Since that was the case, why waste her breath? It's not completely impossible. She relented. But you can't be so annoying. Luli's eyes lit up and readily agreed. Okay. Most importantly, don't follow me wherever I go. It's really unbearable. No problem. If you don't want to hear my voice, then I won't speak. You can just pretend that I don't exist. He was so obedient that Tao Yuan didn't know how to deal with him. She simply said nothing and just slowed down her steps. Half an hour later, Tao Yuan arrived at the door of the room. Actually, I really want to go in for a cup of coffee. Before she could refuse, Luli added on to his own words. But I know you will refuse, so pretend that I didn't say anything. Did he deliberately say this nonsense in the hope that she would soften and change her mind? But that was obviously not going to happen. Good night. There was no activity the next day. Tao Yuan slept very late. When she woke up, she felt a familiar fatigue and soreness. Her head was also very dizzy. When she went to the bathroom, it was indeed her period. It was a week earlier than usual. It was all caused by the stress. She kept a tampon in her bag at all times just in case she needed it. Chapter 552. The resort was located in the southern suburbs, so the air was naturally much more comfortable than the dry indoors in the north. The weather was also very good and there were green plants everywhere making it warm. Tao Yuan was enjoying a delicious breakfast. Hi, what a coincidence. Luli sat down opposite her with a tray. Her brows furrowed in an instant. Didn't you promise not to follow me? I swear it's a coincidence. Luli raised the corner of his mouth. He was wearing a pair of sunglasses and dressed casually, looking young and pleasing to the eye. He was born noble and refined. Even if he did not wear a suit, one could tell that he was a successful man at first glance. The watch in his hand alone was worth millions. Tao Yuan suddenly lost her appetite. Did you not sleep well last night? You don't look good today. Don't tell me you dreamed of me? She snorted. You also know that you are a nightmare? I slept very well last night. The air quality here is good. Yes, I could have had a good holiday. She said, originally. The weather is so good today. Where are you going? It's rare for me to have a day off, so of course I will rest in my room. Her room was a room with a beautiful view of the sea. Just the thought of resting in the sun made her feel very comfortable. Isn't it a waste to stay in the room on such a good day? We have different interests. Tao Yuan hurried to finish her breakfast. Luli insisted on sending her back and followed her to the supermarket. I want to buy something. Wait for me outside. Why are you so mysterious? Could it be? I have some at my place. You don't have to prepare it yourself. She rolled her eyes at him and did not bother to explain to him. Luli followed her to the women's products section. Tao Yuan felt a little embarrassed. It was the first time she had bought sanitary pads with a man. I was wondering why you don't look good. It turns out that you are on your period. Do you feel uncomfortable? I won't feel uncomfortable as long as you don't talk to me. She chose a few bags and hurried to pay the bill. She escaped back to her room, changed into warm pajamas, took a magazine and was about to enjoy life in bed when the doorbell rang. Tao Yuan was very depressed. She opened the door a little and saw Luli standing at the door with 2 paper bags. What is it? I'll go in first. He had already squeezed in with his body, placed the bag on the table and started taking things out one by one. I've done some research on the internet. Women with dysmenorrhea need to drink ginger water with brown sugar. We've bought all of them as well as a thermos. Oh, I heard that women are especially gluttonous during the holidays, so I've also bought snacks. He glanced at her. Why are you still standing there? Quickly lie down on the bed and rest. I don't have menstrual cramps. I don't need these. Can't you see how bad your complexion is? Leave that thing behind. You can go. As a colleague, I have the obligation to stay and take care of you. Luli found a high-sounding excuse. Hurry up and lie down to rest. Otherwise, I don't mind wasting time with you. After 10 seconds of stalemate, Tao Yuan admitted defeat and climbed onto the bed. Luli boiled some water, soaked the ginger with brown sugar and placed it on the bedside table. I'll drink it later. Then he heated a thermos and covered her stomach with it. Pay attention to keeping your uterus warm during your period. I don't know what women like to eat during their period, so I bought some of them. Plum candy, jujube, chocolate, biscuits? What do you want to eat? Seeing that he was so considerate, Tao Yuan felt a little jealous for no reason. You really know how to take care of women. Tao Yanran has trained you well. I've learned these things on the spot. I've never taken care of a woman during the holidays before. Otherwise I could do better. In other words, she was the first. Tao Yuan had reservations about this sentence. I don't have much of an appetite. It's just my period. It's not like I'm seriously ill. There's no need to treat me as a key protected object. Subconsciously she resisted his kindness. Because she knew that he was just acting on a whim, but he hadn't won her heart back yet. It was easy to dote on a woman in a short period of time, but it was too difficult to dote on her for a lifetime, so she chose not to start. Periods are a small matter, but pregnancy is a big deal. At your age, if you don't pay attention to your period, it will affect your future pregnancy. So what? Anyway, the child is not yours. You don't have to worry about it. That's not what you said. Luli said with certainty. If you have a child in the future, the child's father must be me. Absolutely impossible. No one knows what will happen in the future, so don't rush to deny it. There's still a long way to go. After drinking the ginger brown sugar water, Tao Yuan said, "You can go now. I'm fine. It doesn't matter if I stay with you. Maybe I can be useful." You will only disturb my rest. Seeing that she really didn't want him to stay, Luli didn't argue and stood up. Then have a good rest. I'll come over to have dinner with you tonight. Remember, keep warm. He left the room after a few words. Not long after, he received a call from Tao Yenran. In the past 2 days, he had hesitated whether to contact her or not, but in the end, he didn't want her to misunderstand, so he gave up the idea. It's me. Are you busy? Tao Yenran's tone was very light. No. What's the matter? Nothing. I just called to say hello. I drank too much on New Year's Eve and had a memory loss. Did I say anything I shouldn't have? Luli wasn't sure if Tao Yenran had really forgotten. She was still sober at that time and should remember. But that kind of thing was too embarrassing. Whether she remembered it or not, she had to pretend that she had forgotten. Well, no. That's good. I haven't drunk for a long time abroad. My ability to drink has deteriorated. I'll go crazy if I drink a little. I don't know what I've done. Anyway, even if I said something I shouldn't have, I was just acting crazy. Don't take it seriously. Okay. Luli looked at the scenery outside the window. It was surrounded by green trees and the breeze was gentle. The wind blew into his heart and dispelled the haze. Oh, there's one more thing. A friend of mine from the dance troupe has a ballet performance this Friday. But she was injured and asked me to help temporarily. It's a big performance. If you come, I can save a VIP seat for you. I'm out of town. There are still a few days left. Can't you come back? Didn't you say that it was a pity that you couldn't see my performance? Sorry, I still have something to do here. I see. The voice was obviously disappointed. After a moment of silence, she said faintly. Actually, I don't want to talk about this. I'm sick. A trace of worry appeared between Luli's eyebrows. Sick? What's wrong? I have a cold and a fever. My fever reached more than 40 degrees yesterday. It's a little better today, but it's still terrible. I don't have any friends in the country and can't find anyone to take care of me. It would be good if you could come to see me. Should she go back? Luli only hesitated for a second before making a choice. I've rushed back for too long. You should have other colleagues. They're all busy. Can't you come back? I can wait for you. Sorry, drink more water. I see. Then I won't disturb your work. On the other end of the phone, Tao Yenran smashed the phone as soon as she hung up. Bang, the phone screen shattered into pieces. Tao Yenran's face was red, but of course it was not because of the fever but because of anger. She had already pretended to be sick and said that her fever was more than 40 degrees, but Luli could still be so cruel to leave her alone. Damn it. Drink more water? Could he be more perfunctory? How was he different from those scumbags? He was now completely fascinated by Tao Yuan, that little vixen, and couldn't take a step away, right? She wouldn't give up just like that. Her eyes sharpened and she finally made up her mind to pick up another phone. She gritted her teeth and made a gloomy sound. Act according to the original plan. Tao Yuan came here on vacation in the name of inspection, but Luli didn't. He had a lot of work to deal with here and the afternoon was full. After the meeting it was already past 5 o'clock. He didn't know if that woman had woken up. At this time he was afraid to go too early and annoy her again. When did he consider the feelings of the other party when he did things? Luli himself was stunned. Was this still his style of being so timid and overcautious? Although it didn't feel good, he was willing to do it for that woman. As he turned the corner, Qiao Shan walked up to him. She was tall and charming and very eye-catching. She only wore a white short skirt with a deep V-neck under the fur coat, and her figure swayed. Hi Boss Lu, what a coincidence. Qiao Shan pretended to meet him by chance. Luli nodded and was ready to leave. Boss Lu, we just met, why don't we have a drink together? I wanted to talk to you about this year's endorsement. Luli thought that it was still early so he agreed. Qiao Shan suppressed her joy. After she found out about his schedule, she deliberately waited here for more than 2 hours. If he didn't agree it would be a waste of effort. More importantly, she still had a mission to complete. As soon as she sat down, Qiao Shan took off her fur coat. The heat in the restaurant was turned on so it wasn't too cold, but the short skirt still made her look a little thin. Luli lit a cigarette. Aren't you cold? I often shoot summer scenes in winter so I'm used to it. Qiao Shan leaned forward and the right side of her face was facing him because that angle looked more beautiful. Luli ordered a bottle of red wine. Boss Lu is Boss Lu, you have such good taste and this is also my favorite wine. There are many rich and powerful people but few people have power and taste. A man like Boss Lu is like a phoenix's feather, no wonder he became the president of Lu Enterprises at such a young age. Xiao Shan flattered him. Men all liked the compliments of beautiful women. But this trick didn't work on Lu Li. He just raised his eyebrows and didn't respond. Xiao Shan picked up the wine glass and enjoyed the colorful red wine. His handsome face was more and more charming. He was a man with 360 degrees and no blind spots. Every angle had a different charm. His thin lips curled into a cold smile, making one yearn to conquer him, yearn to see his gentle side. Xiao Shan was tempted. If only this man belonged to her. Of course, this was just a fool's talk. She didn't think she was that charming. Xiao Shan let her imagination run wild, but she still calmed down. The most charming thing about a man is not his appearance or how much wealth he has, but his wisdom. Success is the crown of a man, and it is also the best weapon to conquer women. A man like Boss Lu must have many women chasing after him. Chapter 553. He didn't reply to her and continued to smoke in silence. This awkward silence made Xiao Shan feel awkward. She had never been treated so coldly by a man. But she could only bite the bullet and find a topic to talk about. Mr. Lu seems to be in a bad mood today. Is there something bothering you? I'm a good listener. Her concern still couldn't open his heart. Xiao Shan continued. A man like Mr. Lu definitely has nothing to worry about in his career. Then what about his relationship? Is he not on good terms with Mrs. Lu? How did you know? His tone was cold, but he finally spoke. Xiao Shan secretly heaved a sigh of relief. That's what people say. You believe what people say. Yes, it's normal. There are many marriages in the rich. To put it bluntly, a wife is just a standard for a rich man, just like an object. The more powerful a man is, the more important he is to a woman. How can a woman satisfy Mr. Lu? Moreover, men have always liked to seek thrills and continuously conquer different women. The more Xiao Shan spoke, the wilder her eyes became. She even used her leg to rub against Lu Li's thigh. He calmly puffed on his cigarette and narrowed his eyes as he looked at her meaningfully. His inscrutable expression made it hard to guess what he was thinking. He didn't reject her. No man could reject her, but at this moment Lu Li dodged. She lost her footing and almost fell. She was so scared that she held onto the table, looking very embarrassed. Under such circumstances, Lu Li's half-smile looked a little cruel. Xiao Shan tried to steady her breathing, but her body was still trembling. You're right, men want to conquer. But if they care about the number of conquerors, then they are very ignorant. To me, conquering the woman I love is a success. No matter what the outside world says, my wife and I have a good relationship. Xiao Shan tried hard to think that he was acting, but a man like Lu Li would never lie, right? But how could he have true feelings? After finishing his cigarette, Lu Li put it out. As for the details of the endorsement, you should talk to the person in charge. Wait, Boss Lu. Let's have a drink. It's such a good wine, it's such a waste that you didn't even take a sip. Lu Li raised his glass as Xiao Shan stared at him nervously. But just as he was about to press his lips against hers, he suddenly stopped. Xiao Shan trembled in fear. Did she find out? I don't like this piano piece. Please ask the musician to change it. Xiao Shan looked as if she had walked through the gates of hell. Her expression was already very strained. All right. She asked the musician to change the song. When she came back, Lu Li drank a cup of wine with her. The drug will only take effect in 5 minutes. With this thought in mind, Xiao Shan got up and followed him. Boss Lu, I'll go with you. Tao Yuan slept until 6 o'clock and the sky was almost dark. It was all because the warm water bag was too comfortable that she fell asleep after reading for a while. The sky slowly darkened and all was quiet. A thin layer of loneliness covered her heart. At this time, people were especially weak and it was especially easy for them to feel lonely. It was so oppressive, as if they had been abandoned by the whole world. Tao Yuan was temporarily immersed in this thin layer of desolation, and then she laughed at herself for being too sentimental. Life was so beautiful, why should she be sad? Didn't Lu Li want to have dinner with her? Why wasn't he here yet? Wait, she was expecting him? How could that be? She couldn't wait to never see that annoying man again. He was originally a person without integrity, so it was normal for him to stand her up. Tao Yuan decided to enjoy a good dinner by herself. She got out of bed, washed up and changed her clothes. A man and a woman were kissing passionately in the corridor. The man's back was facing her. He was very tall, and his hand was forcefully stroking the woman's thigh. The woman was panting and the two of them kissed while retreating into the room. That was Xiao Shan's room. That Xiao Shan and that man was Lu Li. No wonder he stood her up, so he was busy here. Sarcasm, dissatisfaction, anger, and all sorts of emotions surged into Tao Yuan's heart. She knew that he was a beast and she didn't care which woman he slept with. What really made her angry was that he said one thing in front of her and another behind her back. When he was in front of her, he kept saying that he loved her, as if she was the only one in his life, and he didn't care about other women. But the moment he turned around, he kissed someone else passionately. It sounded better than a song. Her good mood was ruined by him. When it was time to eat, Tao Yuan was full of anger. The sound of the beef being cut made a zhi sound, and the customers at the next table couldn't help but turn to look at her. Bastard Luli. Bastard. Didn't we agree to have dinner together? Why did you come alone? I went to the room to look for you. Speak of the devil, and the man she was cursing was standing in front of her with a smile. He actually pretended as if nothing had happened? His acting was really good. Tao Yuan almost grabbed the cup of water and threw it at his face. She didn't do that because she didn't want to argue with a scumbag. The more turbulent her heart was, the calmer Tao Yuan appeared to be. You said it yourself, I didn't agree. But you didn't object either. I just couldn't be bothered to talk to you. Luli looked at the steak that was cut into a horrible shape and raised his eyebrows. So cruel? Who made you angry this time? You couldn't have stood me up because of a misunderstanding, right? Have you been waiting for me? Of course not, I didn't treat it as a promise. It's just that the steak is hard to cut. Oh, Luli called the waiter over and said, give me a steak that's as hard to cut as hers. Okay, please wait a moment. Tao Yuan tried very hard to suppress her anger, but when she saw his nonchalant look, she couldn't help but get angry. He came looking for her the moment he got out of the bed of that little vixen. What did he take her for? Was she a spare tire or a toy? How could there be such a shameless man? His skin was thicker than the city wall. Damn it. She couldn't help but become rough when she cut the steak. Luli pitied the poor steak and teased. Are all women on their period so irritable? That's right. So you'd better not provoke me or this knife won't be cutting on the steak but on your body. Luli raised his hands in surrender. I don't dare to provoke you. The steak was served and the man slowly enjoyed it. The strong smell of gunpowder on the opposite side did not affect his mood. He had long been used to her terrible temper. Is your stomach still uncomfortable? Very good, thank you for your concern. Go back and drink a glass of brown sugar water. Do you want me to make it for you? No, I have my own hands. You have to make a hot water bag. Oh, I know. Her reply was cold and indifferent, and there was even a hint of anger in it. Luli felt like all of his concern had been bounced back by an invisible wall. He had been too nosy. Their relationship was not so stiff in the morning, so what did he do wrong? Tao Yuan finished the steak and was about to leave when Luli reached out to pull her. She didn't say anything and just looked at him quietly. I only have a very simple question. He paused for a while before asking. How did I offend you? No, you didn't offend me in any way. Then why are you always cold to me? Don't you know how to be gentle? I don't know how to be gentle. Tao Yuan smiled. That's because I've never been treated gently, so I don't know what is gentle. I'm treating you like this now. Acting. She corrected him. To be precise, what you're doing is acting. After saying that, she pushed his arm away and left in a carefree manner. Luli sat in the same place and didn't leave. He slowly finished the steak and drank a glass of red wine. His eyes, as time passed, became more and more profound. He was determined to conquer this wild horse. One night later, when Xiao Shan woke up, she found that the man lying next to her was not Lu Li, but a fat manager who had been drooling over her for a long time. She almost went crazy on the spot. She quickly chased him away and tried to recall what happened. Yesterday, she followed that person's instructions and drugged Lu Li's wine, then left with him. But not long after, she started to feel dizzy, then she met that fat manager and then, so disgusting she couldn't bear to think about it. She wouldn't feel dizzy for no reason, let alone with a fat man. Last night's situation was more like she was drugged. But she was the one who was drugged in Lu Li's wine. How could she be the one who was drugged? Could it be, he changed the wine glass? Just when Xiao Shan was still in shock, her phone rang. She gritted her teeth and pressed the call button reluctantly. Miss Tao, is it done? I'm sorry. The atmosphere on the other end suddenly turned cold. What do you mean by sorry? It's not done? Boss Lu seems to know that I drugged him and changed the wine glass. Last night I was... Before Xiao Shan could complain, the person on the other end cursed. How did he find out? You idiot, don't you have a brain? Xiao Shan was already furious after suffering a loss. She opened her mouth and wanted to curse back, but she didn't dare to, so she held it in. I don't know either. You don't know? You don't know anything. You can't even do such a small thing. Why don't you go and die? Boss Lou is too smart. You didn't betray me, did you? No, I swear. I'm really sorry. I also... Alright, there's no point in saying anything now. If you can't deal with him, then you can do your best to make things difficult for Tao Yuan. But what should I do? Do you need me to teach you such a small thing? Don't pretend in front of me. You're in the entertainment industry, don't you know how to make things difficult for others? Anyway, think of a way to deal with her. It's best if you piss her off. Yes, I got it. If you mess this up again, I'll make you disappear from the entertainment industry completely. After warning her, Tao Yenran hung up the phone angrily. She was originally very unwilling to let a bust seduce her man, but she had been forced by Tao Yuan to the point where she had no other choice. As long as she could hurt her, she would do anything. But she didn't expect that she would fail at the last moment. Chapter 554. The next day the weather was even warmer. Tao Yuan went to the beach early in the morning to bask in the sun. Unfortunately, Qiao Shan was there too. Lying on the lounge chair, her figure was so sexy that even women couldn't help but have a nosebleed. No wonder Luli couldn't help it. Thinking of the kiss yesterday, Tao Yuan felt like she had swallowed a fly. It was very uncomfortable. She lay on the lounge chair to rest and put on her sunglasses. But Qiao Shan soon noticed her and took the initiative to greet her. Hi, Manager Tao, what a coincidence. Tao Yuan just smiled politely. Can you help me put on sunscreen? Although it was a question, Qiao Shan's tone was obviously commanding. Tao Yuan was also a person with a temper. She thought to herself, why should I listen to her? So she replied, I think there will be someone else who is more willing to do it for you. Who are you talking about? Tao Yuan replied with a smile that said, you know what I mean. Qiao Shan turned over and sat up lazily looking at the sea. The sea breeze blew her long hair, making her look even more languid and sexy. I'm a little thirsty, please get me a bottle of wine. The beach was at least 10 minutes away from the hotel. Of course, Tao Yuan was unwilling and directly refused. You have your own hands and feet, why don't you go by yourself? I want to enjoy the sun here. I am here to enjoy the sun, not to work for others. Qiao Shan smiled charmingly. You are here with a job. But my job is not to serve you. Not wanting to be entangled with her, Tao Yuan planned to find a quiet place, but Qiao Shan suddenly said, what? Am I not qualified to order you around? Lu Grant. She said this extremely sarcastically, full of mockery. But Tao Yuan didn't even frown. Instead, she was not angry but smiled. Since you know that I am Mrs. Lu, then you really can't order me around. I can't order the favored Mrs. Lu around. But Mrs. Lu in the cold palace, that's another matter. I was speaking kindly, but I didn't expect your tone to be so harsh. What? Are you jealous of Boss Lu and me? In the past 2 years he has had so many women outside. Even if you wanted to be jealous, you wouldn't be able to eat all of them. Why do you have to target me? You misunderstand. I don't have the time to be jealous. I just don't like dealing with people who don't know themselves. You're the one who doesn't know your place. No matter what, I'm my husband's new lover. I'm the one who's most spoiled. It's not too much to ask you to do some work for me, right? Tao Yuan shook her head and sighed. The three of them are really more arrogant than the last. They even want to ride on the head of the main wife. They really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. You small-time celebrities date rich men not only for the money, but also because you want to marry into a wealthy family one day and become a phoenix. Women like you are like moths to a flame. There are as many as the hairs on an ox, but only a few can succeed. If I let you order me around, then you would be the one sitting in the position of Mrs. Lu right now, not me. No matter what, I'm stronger than you. Since when did you get this idea? Do you think this is the feudal era? Qiao Shan retorted sarcastically. You can't keep your husband's heart. It's useless even if you occupy the position of Mrs. Lu. Your husband sleeps with different women every day. You're a joke. Do you know that? If Mrs. Lu is just a joke, then why are there so many women who want to sit in this position? For example, you provoke me for no reason. Isn't that just jealousy? Without waiting for Qiao Shan to refute, Tao Yuan shook her finger lazily. All right. I've seen too many small-time celebrities like you. You all say the same thing. I can't be bothered to talk nonsense with you. To be honest, I'm not jealous at all. No matter what happened between you and my husband, it's no different from prostitution. You're just playing the role of a prostitute. Whether it's you or someone else, I don't care at all. After all, there are so many women who provoke me. Who do you think you are? If you want to be proud of your status, I can only sympathize with you. And your provocation to me is just a sign of low EQ and IQ. Usually, I just ignore people like that. Tao Yuan stood up and stretched. She squinted comfortably under the sunlight. I'm going to enjoy my holiday. Xiao Shan was so angry that her hair stood on end. There was a meeting that afternoon. It was the signing ceremony for Xiao Shan to officially become the spokesperson of the resort. Originally, it had nothing to do with Tao Yuan. But when the other party asked her to attend, she knew that it was nothing good. Sure enough, Xiao Shan suddenly went back on her words. I refuse to be the spokesperson. The executives of the resort looked at each other. They didn't know what was going on. Didn't we basically come to an agreement before? What's going on? Xiao Shan played with her freshly done nails and said indifferently. Nothing, I just don't want to. There are many celebrities fighting to be our spokesperson. There are some who are more famous than you. Oh, then go find them. The executives were angry. Is it about the endorsement fee? There's no problem in that area. Then why? I'm not satisfied with your staff. Xiao Shan put down her hand and looked at Tao Yuan. As a manager, your attitude towards people is so bad. This gives me a very bad impression of your resort. So, I refuse to be your spokesperson. If you want to know the details, then go directly to Manager Tao. More than 10 pairs of eyes looked at Tao Yuan at the same time, but she was very calm. With a formal smile on her face, she shrugged. I don't know what you're talking about. This morning on the beach, I asked you to help me nicely, but you actually used words to humiliate me. That's too much. This was called the guilty party complaining first. Tao Yuan just thought it was ridiculous. Then tell me, how did I humiliate you? You know very well, but you still called me a prostitute. I was just using an analogy. You compared me to a prostitute. What's the difference between that and directly scolding me? I know that women's jealousy is terrible. I really don't know how such a big hotel like Wilton can accommodate such a narrow-minded woman like you. Tao Yuan clapped her hands in praise. You're a star. I can only say that I admire your ability to invert right and wrong. No matter what, you shouldn't bring personal grudges to work. Let's talk about work first. Can we deal with the other things in private? Xiao Shan leaned forward and spat out 2 words with a fake smile. No. The atmosphere in the meeting room was at an impasse. The supervisors all looked at Tao Yuan, not knowing what was going on. They had never interacted with Tao Yuan before, so they knew nothing about her character. They just had a good impression of her, so they didn't believe that she would call someone a prostitute. Of course, at this juncture they didn't want to know the truth. They just wanted to quickly solve this problem. Miss Chow, is there a misunderstanding? Supervisor A asked. There's no misunderstanding. I have no grudges against her. Why would I accuse her? I don't know the specifics. But what Manager Tao said makes sense. After all, this is your private matter. There's no need to affect work. There are so many endorsements for me. I don't need one more. Xiao Shan put on a cold front. She crossed her arms over her chest and said arrogantly, I am a person with a bottom line. Anyway, if she doesn't apologize today, there's no need to talk about the endorsement. The supervisors were definitely unhappy. With the company's strength, there were naturally many other choices for the endorsements. But they were about to sign the contract and it would take a long time to choose a new one. Of course, they wanted to avoid trouble. It was just an apology. It wasn't a big deal. Supervisor A could only say to Tao Yuan, Manager Tao, why don't you just apologize? Manager Tao, why don't you just apologize? There are still a lot of things to do. If it was any other time, Tao Yuan might focus on work. After all, she wouldn't lose a piece of meat if she apologized. But when she thought of her and Lu Li kissing passionately, she couldn't help but get angry. It's not my fault. I will never apologize. It's not your fault? You dare to say that you didn't call me a prostitute? You know very well what the truth is. I don't care. Anyway, you scolded me. You have to apologize. Otherwise, there's no need to talk about the endorsement. The 2 of them spoke one after another. The supervisors were having a headache. They didn't care about the truth. They all wanted Tao Yuan to apologize. Manager Tao, it's already like this. Don't say anything. Yeah, it's not a big deal to apologize. Work is the priority. No matter how they tried to persuade her, Tao Yuan had already made up her mind. She only had one sentence. I won't apologize. If you don't apologize, I won't endorse. Up to you. The 2 of them were in a deadlock until Lu Li walked in. He immediately smelled the atmosphere and asked, What's going on? The supervisor walked over trembling and explained the matter. He was expressionless, but the temperature of the whole meeting room dropped. Xiao Shan felt that she was in trouble. She thought that Lu Li would not come in person for such a small matter. That was why she dared to be so arrogant. He knew that she had schemed against him. He would definitely not help her. He was dead meat. In his heart he started to beat like a drum. Tao Yuan, on the other hand, was fearless. He could do whatever he wanted. Even if he did something to her for his new lover, she wouldn't be surprised. After all, it wasn't the first time. However, she felt that he might be doing something different now. After all, he still had to act. So, it was hard to say how he would deal with it. Lu Li raised his hand to stop the supervisor from continuing. He saw that Tao Yuan didn't look too good and guessed what was going on. Wasn't all the scheming and jealousy between women the same thing? If she doesn't apologize, you refuse to be the endorser. Is that it? His deep voice was questioning. Xiao Shan was so stressed that she didn't know how to answer. Is that it? He asked again. Her body suddenly trembled. Call Chen Ming from Xinghe Entertainment and ask her to come and sign the contract now. Xiao Shan's face turned pale and she stood up anxiously. Boss Lu, don't be like this. Her smile was uglier than crying. No, it's not necessary, actually. Chen Ming was her competitor. If Chen Ming snatched the endorsement, the company would definitely kill her. She just wanted to embarrass Tao Yuan, but she still wanted to be the endorser. Chapter 555. I was just having a fit, I wasn't clear-headed. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Please forgive me. I won't dare to do it again. Her eyes were red and she looked like she was about to cry, looking pitiful. The male supervisors felt sorry for her, but Lu Li's face was as cold as ever. The one you should apologize to is someone else. Xiao Shan bit her lips and apologized unwillingly. Manager Tao, it's my fault. Before Tao Yuan could speak, Lu Li said first. I can't hear any sincerity from this apology. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, Xiao Shan cried, feeling wronged. This was a great humiliation to her. Tao Yuan didn't feel anything. Xiao Shan was an actress, she could cry easily. Although she was crying, she had already cursed her 10,000 times in her heart. But if she continued to argue with her in front of so many people, it would be too petty. Magnanimous forgiveness was the way to behave. So she smiled. It's okay, it's not a big deal, just remember it in the future. Everyone thought that this was the end of the matter, but Lu Li continued. Didn't you hear me asking you to contact Chen Meng? The supervisor was stunned for a moment, then nodded. Yes, I'll go now. Xiao Shan was stunned, her face was full of tears and she sobbed. Didn't I already apologize? Manager Tao forgave you, but it doesn't mean that I forgive you. First, you shouldn't be so arrogant, and second, I won't allow anyone to bully my people. Tao Yuan's heart trembled. He said that she was his person? What, she wasn't his person, Xiao Shan was. Yesterday they were just intimate and today he turned his spear against her. This man was really too cruel. Sure enough, as long as she slept with him, he would trample on her like trash. If he conquered her heart, he would do the same to her. Tao Yuan warned herself again in her heart, she must not fall, otherwise the humiliation that Xiao Shan suffered today would also happen to her. Chen Ming arrived 2 hours later. After signing the contract, Tao Yuan returned to her room. Just as she sat down, the doorbell rang. Lu Li stood at the door with a heroic spirit. His eyebrows were like swords and his eyes sparkled. Tao Yuan held the door with one hand and looked vigilant. What can I do for you? Aren't you going to invite me in? No. I helped you just now. You owe me a thank you. How shameless must a person be to say such a thing? Tao Yuan couldn't help but shake her head. If one day you stop causing trouble for me, maybe I'll say thank you. So you're saying that it's my fault that Xiao Shan caused trouble for you? There's no need to say it too clearly. It's fine as long as you understand. She was about to close the door, but Lu Li blocked it with one hand and squeezed in with both legs. Tao Yuan retreated too hastily and sprained her ankle. She fell backwards and was pulled back by him. The man's strong arms circled around her waist. Her face instantly turned red. She reached out to push him and at the same time twisted her body. What are you doing? Let go. I'm helping you out of kindness. Do you need to resist me like this? Are you a hedgehog? I don't want to be touched by you. Let go of me. Regardless of whether it was useful or not, Tao Yuan still struggled with all her might. But the more she struggled, the more his hand touched her back and rubbed intensely. Lu Li, what are you doing? Don't bother me even if your brain is filled with lust. She was so angry that her teeth were trembling. But Lu Li's smile became deeper. What is this? Tell me, what is this? Bastard, stinking hooligan. Tao Yuan scolded. The corridor was very narrow. The door was still open and footsteps could be heard. This made Tao Yuan even more anxious. Someone will see, you're my wife. So what if someone sees? You're shameless, but I'm shameless. If you have something to say, just say it. Don't touch me. I don't like to be stuck in a corner with you. You don't like it? I like it very much. He lowered his head and just happened to be beside her ear. His gaze fell on her white earlobe. It was like a pearl, pink and beautiful. Who asked your body to be so soft and smell so good? When he spoke, he was so close that Tao Yuan could hear the choking sound in his throat. It was like a dangerous beast. Her little hand pressed against his muscular chest, trying in vain to pull away. She felt very helpless, very frightened and very angry. But all those emotions were useless because she was his prey. Her feelings were not important. What was important was how he wanted to deal with her. Don't say such disgusting words. You're a stinking hooligan, Tao Yuan scolded. Go away. Someone will see Lu Li. He kicked the door shut and at the same time he turned around and pressed her against the door. With a bang, the door closed and she also experienced a short period of dizziness. You're not afraid now, right? He pressed against her body. Her face was red and her heart was about to jump out of her throat. The circle he had formed was filled with his aura. It was restless, passionate and could make one go crazy. Tao Yuan was originally afraid of being seen, but now she realized that it was even more dangerous to be locked up with him. In this room he could do whatever he wanted. His gaze was burning hot like an X-ray. Tao Yuan did not dare to look at him directly and kept avoiding his gaze. She refused to look at him, afraid that she would be melted by his gaze. She who was stuck in the corner was useless, weak and helpless. She was clearly very angry and wronged, but she could not vent it out. She had to grit her teeth and endure it because this man did not have the slightest bit of sympathy. Her fear and tears would only make him more excited. Tao Yuan, who was pressed against the door, trembled and swallowed with difficulty. She wanted to ask for help, but she did not dare to scream and could only try her best to avoid his gaze. Why don't you dare to look at me? Lu Li grabbed her chin and forced her to look at him. What are you afraid of? I am not afraid. I just think you're disgusting and don't want to see you. Don't want to see me again? Weren't you fine 2 days ago? Why are you throwing a tantrum now? His tone was doting as if he was coaxing a little pet. That kind of gentleness could give people goosebumps. However, Tao Yuan was more resistant, which made her feel disgusted. I don't have time to throw a tantrum with you. I've hated you for a long time and I've never been good to you. I don't think so. Answer me, how did I offend you? Let's have a good chat, okay? I have nothing to talk to you about. Let go of me. Tao Yuan struggled a few times, but those 2 fingers held her chin tightly and refused to let go. He even deliberately moved his fingers as if he was flirting, which really made her feel helpless. What do you want? Her face was pinched by him, so she could only stare at him with her eyes wide open. To her, this was a sign of anger. However, to Lu Li, her eyes were alive when she was angry and she was livelier than usual. He did not like to quarrel with her, but he liked to see her cute look when she was angry. I'm here to make peace with you. His voice was lazy and he was smiling. I'm not angry with you, but we can never coexist peacefully. Give up. If your temper wasn't so bad, it would be possible. Why don't you look at yourself now, pressing me in the corner like a barbarian and saying all these strange and annoying things? Can I treat you calmly? Don't you know that you deserve a beating and are very annoying? If you want to coexist peacefully, then stay away from me. Don't cause trouble for me, you're very perverted. Who told you to be so tempting? I can't control myself. His face was a bit closer and he could kiss her lips at any time. Tao Yuan's heart was in her throat, and she fiercely gritted her teeth. Go find your Xiao Shan, don't come to me and act crazy. Didn't Xiao Shan already leave? Then find Chen Meng or another woman, anyone is fine, but I don't have time to deal with you. That's strange, I only want you. Why do you always push other women to me? You seem to have a big problem with Xiao Shan? What a joke, what problem can I have with her? The scene of the 2 of them kissing flashed before her eyes, and the anger in Tao Yuan's heart began to boil again, and she sarcastically retorted. I have to thank her for serving you, saving me trouble. When did she serve me? How come I don't know? Tao Yuan rolled her eyes, she really admired his ability to lie with his eyes open. You know this in your heart, I don't need to say it too clearly. I don't know at all, can you explain it to me? Luli, I originally thought you were magnanimous, but I didn't expect you to be so shameless. You dare to do it but you don't dare to admit it? It's just sleeping with a woman, it's not a big deal, why don't you admit it? It's indeed not a big deal, but why should I admit something I didn't do? You still say you didn't, I saw it all. Tao Yuan shouted loudly. I saw you two kissing, it was at the door of her room. Her chest violently rose and fell, she finally broke through and her reaction was very intense. This anger had been suppressed in her stomach for too long, and now it burst out. Lu Li silently looked at her for a while, and suddenly burst out in laughter. Tao Yuan was even more angry, he still had the face to laugh? What are you laughing at? I was wondering why you suddenly lost your temper, so it's because you're jealous. I'm jealous? Are you crazy? She agitatedly retorted in a shrill voice. I can't wait for you to not bother me with other women, how can I be jealous for you? Don't be too narcissistic. Do you know? When people feel guilty they will raise their voice very high just like you right now. You're like an angry little wild cat. His tone was very lingering, causing Tao Yuan to tremble uncontrollably. She really couldn't stand this kind of flirting, it made her feel uncomfortable all over and gave her goosebumps. Stay away from me. I'm not jealous, I just hate it when you touch me with dirty hands that have touched other women, I just feel disgusted. Chapter 556. I haven't touched any other woman? He murmured as though he was swearing. Do you think I'm blind? I clearly saw you enter her room. Maybe there were other men, but it definitely wasn't me. Yesterday she drugged my wine and I exchanged wine glasses with her. Maybe the drug took effect and she slept with another man? These words sounded very nonsensical, but the voice that came from above her head had a convincing power. At least from his tone, it didn't sound like he was lying. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Because of nervousness, her voice was trembling. I'm not lying to you. Every word is true. His body continued to embed into her body, messing up her breathing. I hate being schemed against, but I should thank her for scheming against me and letting me know that you're jealous. Do you know? I'm very happy. His gentleness was hard for Tao Yuan to resist. She could still resist when he was domineering, but once he started to act like a rogue, she really couldn't do anything. Her body wriggled in vain, but the more she struggled, the deeper he penetrated and easily controlled her. Her breathing was extremely messy. I'll say it again, I'm not jealous. Don't say such strange things again. Your emotions are written all over your face. Not only are you jealous, but you're also jealous fiercely. But you can swallow your worries back into your stomach? Right now, only you can satisfy me, so I won't touch other women, definitely not. I don't care if you touch. Her lips were firmly blocked. Just as she was about to push him, he had already grabbed both her wrists and locked them by her sides. He kissed her intensely and passionately like a storm, as if he wanted to squeeze everything out of her. Tao Yuan only felt the world was spinning, her lips were boiling hot, as if they were on fire. By the time he was done, she was already panting and her face was flushed red from holding back. He stopped right above her. His brows were relaxed and his eyes were filled with a satisfied smile. His eyes were as bright as the stars, making her feel dizzy. I'm really happy, he said in a deep and serious tone. I like it when you're jealous of me. You're talking nonsense. Tao Yuan exploded. There must be something wrong with your brain. You lunatic. Don't bother me anymore. Shoo, why are you shouting so loudly? Are you afraid that others don't know what we're doing? Do you want everyone to come and see it? He was like a fox, constantly rubbing her body, feeling that her body was as hot as his. Do you feel how much I want you? A man who wants to have sex with a woman is no different from an animal. I'm not. I only want to have sex with you. I want it so much that I'm going crazy. He seemed like he would swallow her at any time. Such words of love could easily make people confused. Tao Yuan was so nervous that she didn't know what to do. Her palms were constantly sweating. Luli, let me, baby, you shouldn't be so sexy. With one hand holding her and pressing her against him, Tao Yuan felt as if she was about to melt. Tao, at this moment, Luli's lips fell on her ear. He smiled and blew a hot breath into her ear. Right at that moment, Luli's lips landed on her ears. He put on a smile and breathed some warm air into her ear. Tao Yuan's face suddenly flushed red as she cursed. You're shameless. His lips moved slightly and he let out a deep laugh. You're so cute. Of course, it's normal that you can't accept it now. But I'll teach you slowly. You still have a lot to learn. Tao Yuan tried to slap him, but Luli stopped her. She twisted a few times. Let me go. I can let you go, but don't hide from me and be angry with me, okay? I hate you. Luli shrugged. Then I don't mind if we continue to waste time like this. Are you threatening me? Despicable. I said, I just want to make up with you. If you forgive me, I'll let you go. Or, you continue to be angry and we'll continue to waste time like this, or maybe we'll go deeper. Which one will you choose? Tao Yuan was very angry with him, but she couldn't do anything. She really had no way to deal with such a shameless man. She could only compromise. Okay, I can't be bothered to be angry with people like you. Let go. In the first-class cabin of the plane. Miss, your ticket has been dropped. Pan Chi turned around and a handsome mixed-race gentleman picked up the ticket and handed it to her. Her eyes lit up and she looked at him again. He was dressed like a business elite, but it could be seen that under the white shirt was a very strong figure. Bright smile like the Californian sun, snow-white teeth, gentlemanly demeanor, strong figure. He was completely Pan Chi's cup of tea. Thank you. The mixed-race man was obviously very interested in her. Before the plane took off, he took the initiative to talk to her. What are you going to do? To find a friend. Pan Chi replied. She had received a call from Tao Yuan yesterday, saying that she was going on a business trip with Luli. From her tone, it seemed that she had been bullied by that bastard. She was afraid that she would be bullied, so she immediately booked a ticket. Oh, I'm going on a business trip. Which country are you mixed race? Spain, the United States, China. Spain? I stayed there for a few years. I'm from Complutense University in Madrid. What a coincidence, me too. The two of them were from the same university and had many topics to talk about. The more they talked, the more they got along. Pan Chi was secretly happy about this encounter when she was suddenly kissed on the face from behind. She was shocked and turned around, covering her face. A beast in human clothing stood in front of her. Lin Yuqing? Baby. Lin Yuqing blinked and called out softly, his pair of peach blossom eyes glancing at the mixed-race man sadly. Who is he? Your new lover? Pan Chi didn't know what he was trying to do and was speechless. Pan Chi cursed in her heart, what the hell? What the hell are you talking about? Don't talk nonsense, okay? The air stewardess and the mixed-race man's gazes made her feel very awkward. They must have thought that she was a lonely woman looking for a date. You guys talk slowly, I'll go back to my seat first. The mixed-race man stood up. It's not like that, he's talking nonsense. Yes, I know. Pan Chi couldn't explain herself. Lin Yuqing's lips curled up and he squeezed her into the seat inside. Excuse me, this is my seat. A gust of wind blew over, and he easily grabbed her wrist with a faint smile. What? You want to hit me again? Do I have the words "you can hit me as you please" written on my face? Lin Yuqing. Pan Chi gritted her teeth. Bastard. Shoo, lower your voice. This is a public place, mind your image. You're already so shameless and you're telling me to mind my image? Pan Chi was trembling with anger. Is it fun to prank? Only a despicable man would think of such a lousy trick like pretending to be a date. The corners of Lin Yuqing's mouth curled up. I think it's quite fun. You idiot, get lost. This is my seat, where do you want me to go? Pan Chi admitted that she was unlucky. If you're not leaving, I'll leave. The plane is about to take off, what are you doing? Hurry up and sit properly. The man was very strong and he pulled her back to her seat. Pan Chi tried to get up several times but was pulled back several times. She was very angry. Hey, I can go wherever I want, who are you to control me? We're together now. You're my client. I have to serve you at all times. Lin Yuqing winked with a smirk. You're such a jerk. You're the one who provoked me first. Do you think I can let a woman hit me? I've said it before, I'll definitely settle this score with you. Pan Chi rolled her eyes fiercely. You're so vengeful, you're a man. It's because I'm a man that I can't let you hit me for nothing. We're even now. Lin Yuqing sat down calmly and let out a sigh of relief. He was in a very good mood. You win, let's wait and see. Pan Chi gave him the middle finger and ignored him. It was too ungraceful for a girl to give him the middle finger. But this devil had been so barbaric since junior high. If she wanted to be gentle, she wouldn't be Pan Chi. Lin Yuqing shook his head. He had seen too many beauties of all shapes and sizes, but even with his extremely picky eyes, Pan Chi was still a top-notch beauty. After all, she was the daughter of a wealthy family. Although she was barbaric, she was still very noble. Which man would not go crazy for her? Lin Yuqing's throat was a little hot and his mind was full of wild thoughts. Soon, Pan Chi felt two hot eyes which she was very familiar with. She turned her head and stared at them. Sure enough, Lin Yuqing was staring at her chest, so she quickly covered it. "What are you looking at?" She put up two fingers to his eyes. Lin Yuqing easily blocked it with his palm and ridiculed her. "You don't want to be seen by men, why are you wearing so revealing clothes?" Pan Chi's dressing style was relatively bold, but it was not revealing. This bastard took advantage of her and pushed the responsibility to her. It was too shameless. "Can't I have big breasts?" Yes. You have big breasts. You have the final say." Lin Yuqing chuckled and mumbled softly. "Don't women have big breasts for men to see? Do they admire it themselves? Straight man cancer. What are you going to do? What does it have to do with you?" "Oh, I know even if you don't tell me. You're going to find my sister-in-law? Then let's go. I'm also going to the resort." "What? Is there a party at the resort? You and Lu Li are indeed brothers. You're in cahoots with each other. You're all up to no good." Hey. You can talk about me. Why do you have to talk about my big brother? Look at you. TSK. You're cheap." Pan Chi said with disdain. "Are you Lu Li's lackey? But he's not here now. You don't have to rush to suck up to him." "What lackey? We're brothers." "You guys are in cahoots. You're nothing. Lu Li is even worse. I'm going there this time to not stop him from bullying my Yuan. When did you become so nosy, you meddlesome woman?" Pan Chi's eyes widened and she frowned. "You actually called me a meddlesome woman? Isn't meddling in other people's family affairs a meddlesome woman? I advise you not to do such a thankless thing. Otherwise, if they reconcile, you'll be in trouble." "They reconcile? How is that possible? My Yuan isn't blind. Now it's Lu Li who refuses to divorce. Why don't you persuade him to stop pestering you? Just think of it as accumulating good karma for yourself. They won't divorce." "Who said it's impossible? I think they're going to get divorced." "Oh? Want to bet?" Of course, Pan Chi was not afraid of him. "Let's bet." "Why should I be afraid of you? What do you want to bet? If I win, then you let me sleep. What if I lose?" Lin Yuqing spread his hands and narrowed his peach blossom eyes. Chapter 557. Pan Chi realized that she was fooled and spat. "Shameless, who wants to sleep with you? There are many women who want to sleep with me. If you don't make this bet with me, don't even think about sleeping with me in this lifetime." You speak as if I really want to sleep with you. I'm afraid of getting sick." "What sickness? An addiction disease?" Pan Chi made a stop gesture. "Don't talk to me, I don't want to listen. Look at you, you're not bad looking, but why is your temper so bad? With someone like you, which man would dare to want you in the future?" That's not something you need to worry about. No matter which man I'm with, it's not you. That's for the best. I'm afraid that you'll fall for this young master. Even if you give me someone like you, I won't want you." "Give you? Dream on. Even if all the men in this world die, I won't be with you. If that's the case, why do you think I'll choose you?" Pan Chi gritted her teeth. Despicable. During dinner time, the doorbell of Tao Yuan's room rang. Opening the door, it was a certain peacock man. He was holding a rose in his mouth, standing at the door with his arms crossed, thinking that he was handsome. Towards his repeated harassment, she expressed that she was very helpless. "What are you acting this time?" "For you." Lu Li passed the rose to her. "Can you do me the honor of having dinner together?" "Can I refuse? We've just reconciled. I think we should have dinner together to celebrate." Tao Yuan shook her head. "I don't think this is something worth celebrating. I didn't agree to live peacefully with you voluntarily, I was forced. Whether it's voluntary or forced, life and marriage have to continue. There's no need to make things difficult for yourself, right? Furthermore, you're at the resort now, you should enjoy your vacation." "I originally planned to do so, but unfortunately, it's completely ruined." "Then let me make up for it." Lu Li smiled, the gentleness in his eyes was invisible. "I've been working hard to repair our relationship. Can't you see my sincerity?" "I didn't see the sincerity, but I saw the madness. Lonely and empty, and suddenly interested in a wife who went through hardships? Could it be that Tao Yanran can no longer bring you a sense of novelty?" "You can interpret it however you want. Right now, you are the only woman in my eyes." Lu Li's eyes were burning with passion as he confessed. Tao Yuan had to admit that his gaze was indeed very moving. She almost fell for it. However, once bitten, twice shy. If she believed what he said, then she would be a fool. "You don't even dare to have a meal with me. Are you so afraid of me, or are you afraid that you will fall into my charm? Tao Yuan looked at it seriously. Charm? Where is it? Why didn't I see any of that? I only saw her pestering me. A woman you truly like is worth pursuing relentlessly. Give me a chance, okay? I won't let you down. Only when you have hope will you be disappointed, but I don't have any for you, so there is no disappointment. But since you are so thick-skinned, I don't seem to have any room to refuse. Tao Yuan smiled. I'll take it as a banquet at Fuhong Men. At night, the bustling beach was quiet and empty. The candlelight dinner was ready, the violin musicians played live, and the coast was lit up. Seeing the situation, Tao Yuan couldn't help but tease. This banquet at Fuhong Men is a bit too romantic. If the atmosphere is not romantic, how can I eat you? Lu Li kissed her from behind her ear. Pulling out the chair in a gentlemanly manner, Tao Yuan sat down. The grape wine, the gentle sea breeze, such an atmosphere was slightly intoxicating. Which woman didn't like romance? Even she couldn't help but feel a little smug. Of course, it was purely because of the atmosphere, and it had nothing to do with the man opposite. Seeing that the atmosphere was good, Lu Li took the opportunity to say, "You see, it's not difficult to coexist peacefully, right?" She raised her eyebrows. "That depends on your performance." As soon as she smiled at him, Lu Li felt sweetness coming from all parts of his heart, almost drowning him. Probably because he was used to being abused by her when her attitude was a little better, he was so touched that he almost wagged his tail. Lu Li, you've fallen into the hands of this woman. As long as you give me a chance, I will definitely perform well. Cheers to coexist peacefully. He raised his glass. Cheers. The two goblets clinked, making a crisp sound. Looking at her through the scarlet red wine, she looked even more beautiful. The red wine was a little bitter, but it became extremely sweet in the mouth, and the sweetness spread from the throat to the rest of the body. Just one sip and he felt a little tipsy. When the wine was almost finished, Lu Li got up and walked to her, half bent over, and stretched out a hand. "May I have the honor to dance with you?" Tao Yuan was not a pretentious woman. She put down the wineglass and put her hand in his palm. The soft skin, the warm temperature made Lu Li infatuated. He held it and did not want to let go for the rest of his life. Gently he held it. The two danced to the music, hugged her, and felt her fragrance. Lu Li became more and more intoxicated, and his hands uncontrollably slipped to her waist. His hands wrapped around her waist and he gently pressed her against him. Tao Yuan's body tensed up and she had some resistance. The atmosphere just now was just right, so she did not reject him, but it did not mean that she could be so intimate with him. Don't talk, let me hug you for a while." His gentle voice melted her strength. Her body was still a little stiff, but she did not push anymore. She was really not used to this kind of harmony. It was very strange and she felt uncomfortable all over. But at the same time, it was difficult for her to resist such gentleness. After all, women were easily soft-hearted. No matter how much they hated each other, at a certain moment, they would want to let down their guard in resistance because of long-term fatigue, and temporarily numb themselves. Most importantly, this man was after all Lu Li. She had loved him for more than 10 years, and both her body and heart had long developed a kind of dependence on him. She was like a bug in a spider's web. No matter how much she struggled, she had already fallen into his inescapable net. The more she resisted, the tighter she was stuck. On the other side, Pan Chi arrived at the resort and could not get through to Tao Yuan's phone. She was anxious to look for her everywhere. Lin Yuqing had been following her like a shadow, and she could not get rid of him. "Hey, why do you keep following me? Don't you find it annoying?" "Do I?" Lin Yuqing looked innocent. "Is the resort yours? What right do you have to say that I'm following you? Speaking of which, I have shares here and it's my territory. I can go wherever I want and it's none of your business." Pan Chi clenched her teeth and really wanted to slap that face that was pretending to be innocent. Handsome? So what if he was handsome? The more handsome he was, the more despicable he was. "I know where you want to go. You want to destroy the relationship between husband and wife, right? I won't let you get away with it." Lin Yuqing followed behind her, nagging and criticizing her. "I say it's fine if you have a bad temper, but why do you always like to meddle in other people's family affairs? Your heart is dark and you can't bear to see others doing well, right?" "My heart is dark?" Pan Chi pointed at herself and sneered as she rolled her eyes. "Do you think Yuan can be good with that bastard? This is called saving women who have lost their footing and preventing them from getting hurt. In your eyes, does Tao Yuan not have a brain? Does she not know how to judge good and bad? If she had a brain, would she have liked Luli for more than 10 years? Do you know how much she has suffered all these years and how bitter her life has been? You haven't seen her commit suicide and soak in the bathtub with blood all over her body, so of course you can speak without feeling pain. After a few years, every time she thought of that bloody scene, Pan Chi's eyes would turn red. Lin Yuqing was also quite upset. He could understand Pan Chi's feelings. If it was him, he would also protect his brother at all costs. After a while, she said slowly, I know that my brother did wrong in the past. Wrong? That's a heinous crime. Stop crying crocodile tears. If you still have a conscience, don't follow me. She turned and left, but Lin Yuqing continued to chase after her. Listen to me, that's all in the past. My brother has changed. He is sincere to Tao Yuan now, and he wants to get back together with her. His heart has long been eaten by a dog. What sincerity does he still have? He's just a lowly person and he can't bear to see Tao Yuan living better than him. At the end of the day, he still loves himself. He's a complete selfish person. On the beach, a pair of lovers hugged each other. Pan Chi stopped in her tracks and exploded with anger. She knew that Luli had drugged Tao Yuan again. Just as she was about to rush forward, Lin Yuqing grabbed her. Let go of me, let go, bastard. She struggled with all her might and shouted, but Lin Yuqing just wouldn't let go. She was so angry that she grabbed his arm and bit down. Her sharp teeth pierced through his skin, and Lin Yuqing cried out in pain. You're biting me, are you a dog? Let go. Pan Chi bit even harder and her mouth was full of the taste of blood. She vented all her anger on his hand. Let go, do you hear me? My brother is gone. Pan Chi let go of him and wiped her mouth. The smell of blood made her feel disgusted. Luli had already left, leaving Tao Yuan standing there alone. This scene was just like the relationship between them. Luli would always provoke her first, and then he would mercilessly pull away. In that relationship, it was always Tao Yuan who was singing a one-woman show. How could she not feel heartache? The two of them hugged and danced. The woman's soft body was pressed against the man's masculine and strong body, and they exchanged heat through a thin layer of cloth. Both of their hearts were a little messy, thump, 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 just like when they first fell in love. Everything made their hearts palpitate. Luli lowered his head and looked at that delicate face. He felt that all the tenderness in his life had been evoked. He had loved Tao Yanran before, but even at the deepest point of his love, he had never felt such a strong feeling like this. He didn't get tired of looking at her. Even when he was hugging her, he still felt that it was unreal. It was as if he could only be satisfied when he branded her into his bones. This was a kind of hunger and thirst of the soul. There was a voice in his ears that kept telling him, your life's fate is in this woman's hands. Hold on to her tightly or your life will be completely over. His eyes became more and more passionate. The blush on Tao Yuan's face became more obvious and she lowered her eyes. Chapter 558. My heart is only satisfied when I look at you. The tip of his nose was close to her ear, and he exhaled a warm breath. Tell me, when did you dig a hole in my heart? I didn't. You did. Listen to my heartbeat, isn't it very fast? You always say that I lie to you, but a heartbeat can't lie. When I'm with you, it beats very fast. Then you should go to the hospital for a checkup to see if you have a heart attack. He was amused by her and laughed. His chest emitted waves of laughter, and his body trembled against hers, causing her to tremble with him. You really know how to spoil the mood. Yeah, but you're not suitable for romance either. I'm not trying to be romantic on purpose. I'm just thinking about what you'll like. For me, it doesn't matter where or what I do. What's important is to be with you. Tao Yuan's heart was about to melt, and her legs were melting. Boss Lu is indeed Boss Lu. Full marks for flirting with girls. Then, have you been flirted with? It's quite soft. Where is it soft? His voice was very evil, and coupled with the fact that he was speaking next to her ear, that kind of seductive feeling was multiplied by 1,000 times. In that second, Tao Yuan's knees really buckled, and her legs went soft and she almost collapsed. She was a beat slower. She tried to keep up with his rhythm, maintaining her breathing, and tried her best not to let him see that she was in a sorry state. The top is soft or, the bottom is soft. She rolled her eyes at him. Why are you, really? I'm asking if your brain is soft or your legs are soft. Which part is yellow? Your legs went soft just now, that's why I'm asking. Tao Yuan was speechless to the extreme. This person was only in charge of lighting the fire, not in charge of cleaning up the scene, and his skin was so thick to a certain extent. Tell me, are you thinking about it in the wrong way? If you want to dance, then dance properly. I refuse to talk. That won't do. I still have a lot to say to you, but it's not enough. How about we talk for the rest of our lives? Don't make promises that you can't keep. It will only make people feel that it's a joke. Give me a chance to prove it to you. His large palms danced around her waist. Her waist was so soft that it aroused Lu Li's possessiveness. He just wanted to ruthlessly embed her into his body. Don't you want to know the result? Tao Yuan felt that the atmosphere was getting hotter and hotter, and it was developing in a direction that she couldn't control. She subconsciously shrank back. I don't want to know. No, you think so, baby. He intimately called out to her, his lips constantly spilling out words of love. He was panting, unable to control his own breath. He held her face and kissed her tender red lips. Tao Yuan's heart was already in her throat, thumping rapidly. Even swallowing her saliva had become incomparably difficult. Lu Li. Don't be like this. Let me kiss you, Yuan. Don't reject me. His hot breath devoured her lips. Tao Yuan's mind was in a mess and she didn't know what to do. Lu Li. She was a little crazy and her heart was begging him not to be like this. She will fall. The feeling of falling step by step and being powerless to break free made Tao Yuan afraid. Lu Li's face was just above her, and the light shone down along his face, making his outline even more distinct. Deep in his dark pupils, there was a star-like brilliance, shaking her heart into a mess. His beautiful thin lips were constantly murmuring. Don't resist me, okay? Give me a chance. That voice made her weak. Give me a chance, Lu Li. Her fingers were trembling. His lips were getting closer and closer. Tao Yuan seemed to have accepted her fate as she gently closed her eyes. Her eyelashes were like a small fan that was trembling, stirring up Lu Li's heart. The man who was skilled in the field of love was actually holding his breath like a young man who had his first awakening of love. Ring, ring, ring. The phone's ringtone broke the spell of passion. Tao Yuan did not immediately push Lu Li away. Instead, she was slightly disappointed. Lu Li was extremely annoyed. He shouldn't have brought his phone out. The atmosphere was a little awkward. One of his hands was still holding her waist, and the other hand was taking out his phone. He was suppressing his anger, and his breathing was uneven. Excuse me. Is this Mr. Lu? We are at Renhe Hospital. Miss Tao had a car accident and is now in emergency treatment. Car accident? Lu Li let go of Tao Yuan and walked to the side. Is it serious? The current situation is not clear. Please come over quickly. Lu Li looked at Tao Yuan and hesitated for a second. I know, I'll come over now. What? Who had a car accident? Seeing his tightly pursed lips, Tao Yuan already had an answer in her heart. Is it Tao Yanran? Yes, she had an accident. She really knows how to pick the time. The cold mockery made Lu Li feel a little uncomfortable. How can you say that? Isn't it? She knew we were together and did it on purpose. Who would joke about a car accident? Tao Yuan couldn't help but roll her eyes again. Ordinary people wouldn't, but your Tao Yanran is not ordinary. She can do anything. Lu Li frowned. He wasn't angry at her for talking about Tao Yanran. He was just unhappy with her tone and attitude. It seemed to be very malicious. In his heart, she was not a malicious person. Do you have to speak in this tone? Can't I say what I want to say? Tao Yuan asked. He was so gentle to her just now, but now he was speaking to her in such a tone for Tao Yanran. Could he change his face any faster? This showed that Tao Yanran was the most important in his heart. Tao Yanran was a holy white lotus and no one could insult her. Then what about those sweet words he said to her just now? Was he playing with her in a moment of madness? Tao Yuan was angry at Lu Li, but she was even more angry at herself. She had been tricked so many times, but she still fell for it every time. She really wanted to slap herself hard. Okay, there's no point in you arguing with me here. Hurry up and find your sweetheart. She's in the emergency room now. I'm just worried about her. Don't explain so much. I don't care at all. I don't want to know. Tao Yuan turned around and faced the sea with her back to him. The woman who was confused just now exuded a cold aura at the moment, looking a little heartless. But what he couldn't see was that her eyes were already a little wet. She was just using the cold facade to maintain her dignity. Lu Li felt a little guilty in his heart, but he didn't know what to say. In this situation, anything he said would make her hate him. He put his hand on her shoulder gently. I'll go and see the situation. If it's not serious, I'll come back right away. Tao Yuan sneered in her heart. Tao Yinran had pretended to be in a car accident. How could it not be serious? Of course it was as serious as it could be. She threw caution to the wind. Wouldn't it be a loss if she didn't pester him for a month? She didn't say anything, just looked at the sea and sneered. Luli was silent for a while and left. He still left. His aura was getting fainter and fainter. Tao Yuan laughed secretly. She knew that it would be like this. Why was she still a little disappointed? She thought that what Luli said to her was more or less sincere. But in his heart, no one could shake the position of Tao Yinran. Even if they would not get back together, Tao Yinran would always be a special existence. And she could only be the second in his heart at most. If she was not the only one, then she would rather not. Her heart was cold and hard by the wind. At the same time, it was difficult to suppress a trace of sadness. She only returned to the hotel after all her emotions were gone and they were no longer important. Pan Chi walked over to her and shouted with a grin. "You're finally back. I've been looking for you for a long time." The bright smile warmed Tao Yuan's heart. No matter what, at least she still had this good friend. Lu Li rushed back by private plane. As soon as he got off the plane, he went straight to the hospital. The doctor said that the operation had been finished. Tao Yinran's life was not in danger, but her right leg was seriously injured. She might not be able to continue to dance in the future. Tao Yinran was still under anesthesia. Lu Li stood alone in the quiet corridor and smoked one cigarette after another. The thick smell of medicine in the air made him feel irritated. He hated the hospital. Tao Yinran's accident made him distressed. On the other hand, he couldn't stop speculating about Tao Yuan's current mood. She must have misunderstood that Tao Yinran was more important than her. It was already 2 o'clock in the morning. Lu Li thought for a long time and still made a call. Beep. It rang twice and then was hung up. Well, she was such a stubborn person. How could she answer his call at this time? The screen dimmed just like his gloomy mood. Tao Yinran woke up in the morning. She was still very haggard, but she was very happy. On that pale face, 2 eyes were shining. "I don't know why the doctor contacted you, but I'm very happy that you can come. How can I not come when you're in trouble?" Lu Li smiled faintly and tightened the quilt for her. "Did you not sleep last night? You have dark circles under your eyes. Are you worried that I can't sleep?" He just smiled, and the emotions between his eyebrows were very shallow. Maybe it was because he was haggard after a sleepless night, or maybe it was because he was depressed. In short, all the reactions seemed a little forced. "I'm sorry to make you worry." Tao Yinran looked very obedient at the moment, as docile as a sheep. She thought for a long time about how she was not as good as Tao Yuan. After thinking about it, it should be that she was not as gentle as Tao Yuan. She should be using this trick to confuse Lu Li. Of course, Tao Yinran would not admit that she was learning from Tao Yuan. She stubbornly thought that what Tao Yuan could do, she could do the same and she would do better than her. Tao Yuan could not beat her, no matter in any aspect. "You have a good rest. My body still hurts a little. I don't want to rest. I just want to talk to you." Her eyes were watery, affectionate, and full of dependence. Tao Yinran was the proudest woman Lu Li had ever seen. She was independent, smart, and seemed to be able to live a wonderful life without anyone. She would never depend on a man. This used to be a problem for him because he was a bit of a male chauvinist and liked his woman to depend on him. But now she depended on him and it made him feel pressure. Chapter 559. Didn't you say you were out of town on a business trip? Why did you come back so soon? Worried about me, right? She blinked her eyes. Although her face was haggard, her facial features were still beautiful and had a kind of morbid sexiness. As long as she smiled, her face seemed to glow and radiate brilliance. Lu Li did not want to answer these questions. "Are you not feeling well? Do you want me to call a doctor?" "You're my doctor. When I see you I feel better. If you had promised to come back to see my performance that day, I would not be lying in the hospital now. You have to be responsible for me." "I'm sorry." "Oh, I am joking. Why do you always like to frown now? You look very serious." "I don't like it." Tao Yinran was also forcing a smile. The Lu Li in front of her was like a walking corpse. His body was here, but his mind was not on her at all. She was very unhappy and felt like a self-delusional clown. However, she had spent so much effort to arrange this car accident. No matter what, she had to hold him back. She told herself that his abnormality was just because they had been apart for too long. He still needed time to get used to her. Soon they would be as good as before. "Yinran, I am a little hungry. Go buy me breakfast." She interrupted him. Lu Li nodded. "Okay." He got up and left the ward, only to find that the atmosphere inside was even more depressing than in the corridor. Facing Tao Yanran was a very difficult thing for him. The longer he stayed with her, the stronger this feeling became. They arrived at the restaurant. Sir, what porridge would you like? The waiter asked several times before Luli came back to his senses and realized that he was in a trance just now. Lean meat porridge. Okay. The waiter neatly packed the porridge and handed it to him, whispering to his colleagues next to him that they were infatuated with him. So handsome. Ah, really so manly? I wonder if she is here to take care of his parents or his wife. Who knows, but you see he is wearing a wedding ring. He is married. Sure enough, good men are all married. Sigh. Luli smoked a cigarette at the entrance of the restaurant. His mind was full of Tao Yuan. He felt as if his soul had been hooked away by her and could not stop for a moment. He called her again, but she still hung up on him. But even so, it still made him feel a little more at ease, as if this was some kind of connection. He smiled bitterly. Tao Yuan received the fourth call after Luli left, but she still hung up. Morning, afternoon, and evening. Was he greeting her as per her 3 meals? From the first time she hung up the phone, he should have known that she wouldn't pick up. Why did he still keep pestering her? He was already by Tao Yanran's side, but he was still pestering her. What did this mean? Are you ready to have fun? Pan Chi walked over. Why are you holding your phone? Was that bastard again? I'll tell him to die. With a mischievous smile, he wrapped his arm around her shoulders. Don't take your phone. Sister will take you to have fun tonight. Lin Yuqing received a call from Lu Li and went to find Tao Yuan. Before he rang the doorbell, the door opened and 2 beauties in bikinis came out. Lin Yuqing was shocked at first, and then he was so stunned that he almost had a nosebleed. Pan Chi had a model's figure of more than 7 meters. Tao Yuan was not as tall as her, but her figure was also very good. Lin Yuqing cursed in his heart. What was going on? Tao Yuan was not used to wearing so little. Although she wore a silk scarf, she still felt very uncomfortable and covered her chest with her hands. Pan Chi was much more natural. She had a good figure and there was nothing to hide, so she made a noise. What are you looking at? Haven't you seen a woman before? He should not bully his friend's wife. Lin Yuqing withdrew his gaze with difficulty. Where are you going? What does it have to do with you? What? Did your master send you to spy on us? With Tao Yuan present, Lin Yuqing had to maintain his gentlemanly demeanor and said with a cheeky smile. What are you talking about? What's stalking? Can't I come to play with my sister-in-law? Where are we going to play? Count me in? In your dreams. Pan Chi pulled Tao Yuan away and Lin Yuqing followed them shamelessly. Tell me, where are we going? Pan Chi was annoyed by his pestering, so she replied with one sentence. Go back and tell your master that Yuan and I are going to a yacht bikini party. Tell him to go to hell. Yacht bikini party? Lin Yuqing's eyes were full of sexy bodies. Those parties were really messy. If Lu Li knew that Tao Yuan was going to this kind of party, he would definitely kill him. But he could not stop them even if he wanted to, so he could only continue to follow. The two boarded the yacht. It was already very high inside. A group of beauties in bikinis and men were drinking crazily. Tao Yuan wanted to escape as soon as she entered. There are too many people here. I'd better go back first. The more people, the merrier. You're not scared, are you? No, I'm not used to it. Come on, you're only 24 years old. It's the age to go crazy. Why are you living more conservative than my grandma? If you don't go crazy now, when will you go crazy? Are you still thinking about that bastard's feelings? Of course not. That's right. Pan Chi pushed her into the crowd and shouted excitedly. The party is starting. Let's get high. Tao Yuan was a little not used to it at first, but soon she was involved in the lively atmosphere and danced with the music. Men and women danced together and she no longer resisted. She was really too tired and she was too tense. She needed to indulge. When Lin Yuqing changed his clothes, Tao Yuan had already danced with a group of men. He almost went crazy and grabbed Pan Chi and asked, Look at what you've done. What's wrong? My sister and I are having a good time. Very good. Pan Chi said proudly. Go away. Don't get in my way. There's something wrong with your brain. If my brother sees this, he'll go crazy. Oh, isn't that just right? Don't say crazy. I can't wait for him to die. Tao Yuan is different from you. She's a married woman. She can't play like this. Does it make a difference whether she's married or not? Do you want her to be a widow for that bastard? You saw it yesterday, he abandoned her and left. Maybe he has something important to do. Yes, it's important. What about Tao Yenran? How can she not be important? Pan Chi said sarcastically and rolled her eyes. Since he can't give her happiness, don't interfere in her life anymore. Get out of here too. You're really unreasonable. You're shameless. The two quarreled for a while. While Lin Yuqing was distracted, Pan Chi stole his mobile phone, took a few photos of Tao Yuan's party, and sent them to Lu Li on WeChat. At the same time in the hospital, Lu Li was peeling an apple for Tao Yenran. When his phone rang, he didn't even have time to wipe his hands and quickly took out his phone. When he saw the picture of Tao Yuan in a bikini dancing with other men, he was so angry that his eyeballs almost fell out. As soon as he left, she couldn't wait to party? How could a married man attend a bikini party? This damned woman. Tao Yenran couldn't see the screen, but she could guess what was going on. Even though Lu Li was with her all the time, he seemed to be absent-minded, which annoyed her. What's wrong? Nothing. Lu Li locked his phone and put it back in his trouser pocket. His face was obviously much uglier. He continued to peel the apple and handed it to her. Rest early today. Are you in a hurry to leave? Yes. What's the hurry? If there's nothing important, can you accompany me for a while? I'm alone here, it's very lonely, and I hate hospitals the most. You know that. I'll find a caregiver to accompany you. I don't need a caregiver. I need you. Do you know why I had a car accident? Because I was thinking about you at that time, so I was distracted. I promised to perform for my friend because I wanted to dance for you, but you didn't come. I was really disappointed, but I couldn't tell you. On the way back, I suddenly felt very sad and cried. My eyes were blurred with tears, so I had a car accident. Tao Yenran hated to pretend to be pitiful, but she had no other way. She said this deliberately to make Lu Li feel guilty and use his self-blame to make him stay. She thought that since she had said so much, he would not leave no matter what. But Lu Li hesitated for a moment and said, I can only say sorry for this accident. But our relationship has ended and we should move forward. At least I think so. Tao Yenran was deeply provoked. Move forward? Go where? Go to Tao Yuan's place? His silence represented an affirmative answer, which was tantamount to adding fuel to the fire. The fire that Tao Yenran had been holding back for a period of time was suddenly vented. Don't forget that she killed our baby. How can you fall in love with a murderer? That thing has passed. Don't mention it again. That's our baby. Can you really forget it? Tao Yenran was heartbroken and angry. The child was not Lu Li's, but it was her flesh and blood. She was the one who suffered the most. Are you worthy of our child? Don't mention that thing again. Lu Li chose to escape and stood up. He didn't want to hear more words to torture him. He left a sentence of have a good rest and fled the ward. Ali, come back. Tao Yenran called his name over and over again. She almost fell off the bed, but he didn't stop walking. She believed that the man who once loved her with life treated her so ruthlessly. After flying back and forth for 2 days and not sleeping last night, Lu Li's mental state was very bad and he had a bad headache. But there was no way to rest on the plane. As soon as he closed his eyes, he saw those bikini photos of Tao Yuan. The anger made him restless. Every minute and every second was torture. And Tao Yuan didn't know that a man had been crazy for her. After a wild party, she was exhausted and sat with Pan Chi with their heads leaning against each other and giggling. I haven't been so happy for a long time. Alcohol stimulated her brain and she was very excited. Every cell was boiling and cheering. Chi, thank you. Hey, is it necessary for us to say such words to each other? Isn't that how best friends are used? Pan Chi had just knocked over a few men, so she was also drunk. You are usually too tense. If you don't go crazy when you are young, you will be old. Come, for the party for youth, let's have another drink. Chapter 560. At midnight the party ended. The two of them helped each other back to the hotel, and a man who had just danced with Tao Yuan followed them. Let's go, it's too early now, let's go play again. I have a headache, I don't want to go. It won't hurt after one more drink. Go away. Pan Chi pushed him, but her strength was weak. She squinted her eyes and burped, pointing at him and said, I know what you mean, you burp. Don't you just want to hook up with our Yuan? A toad wants to eat swan meat. Go away. Don't say that, isn't it like this when we come out to play? Let's go. Tao Yuan and Pan Chi both drank a lot, and the man was very sober and strong, so they couldn't break free. The man was fantasizing when he suddenly received a punch in the face. One punch sent him to the ground and he couldn't get up for a long time. Go away. He was so scared that he peed his pants and ran away. Lu Li supported Tao Yuan's soft body, looking at her face that was as red as a monkey's, but he was angry and distressed. Damn, how much did you drink? He didn't support Pan Chi, so Pan Chi sat on the ground and stared at him with a frown, as if she couldn't believe her eyes. Lu Li, bastard. Didn't you leave? Lu Li understood Tao Yuan's character. She would definitely not attend that kind of party, so it was obvious that Pan Chi brought her there. What kind of trash friend did she have to bring her to such a dangerous place? If he didn't appear in time, the consequences would be unimaginable. In her daze, Tao Yuan saw that it was him and started to struggle. Let go, let me go. She told you to let go, did you hear her? Why did you come back? Pan Chi staggered over, wanting to save Tao Yuan from his hands. Let go, bastard. Enough. You know she can't drink, so why did you let her drink so much? Can't I be happy? What could he do if he didn't drink? You want her to cry for you? You abandoned her first. Don't pretend to be a good person now. I'm fake? If I hadn't acted in time, what kind of danger would have occurred? A woman like you probably doesn't care, but remember, Tao Yuan is different from you. She's my wife. You only know how to say it. Have you ever treated her as your wife? Where were you when she needed you the most? King stayed with Tao Yanran. Since you left, don't come back. I won't hand Yuan over to someone like you. Pan Chi grabbed Lu Li's arm and bit it like an octopus. Lu Li's other hand was supporting Tao Yuan, so he couldn't push Pan Chi away. His eyes turned green with anger. He had seen many exquisite women, but Pan Chi was definitely the most exquisite and the most annoying one. If she was a man, he would have beaten her to death. On the beach, Lu Li grabbed Tao Yuan with one hand and his other hand was bitten by Pan Chi. He was going crazy. Just then Lin Yuqing walked over in a drunken state and stood by the side, looking like he didn't know what was going on. Lu Li shouted at him. What are you looking at? Come and help. Oh. Lin Yuqing came back to his senses and hurried to pull Pan Chi. Hey, let go. Do you hear me? Are you a dog? You like biting people so much. He had been bitten before, so he knew how painful it was. He was full of sympathy for Lu Li. Lu Li's expression was as ugly as it could be. Didn't I ask you to look after her? What kind of person are you? I drank too much too. Lin Yuqing looked bitter. They disappeared in the time it took me to pee. After a great deal of effort, Pan Chi finally relented. However, she and Tao Yuan were still wailing like ghosts and howling like wolves. Chi, save me, Chi, let go of her. Lu Li, you bastard, let go, Chi, Yuan. The two of them cried as if they were parting for life and death, attracting many people to watch. Lu Li and Lin Yuqing were embarrassed. They felt like two human traffickers. They had never been so embarrassed. Grand, don't scream, I beg you. Lin Yuqing could not cover Pan Chi's mouth, so he put her on his shoulder. I'll take care of this, you take care of sister-in-law. Let's split up. Lin Yuqing, let go of me. Let go, Pan Chi screamed. Shut up, I'll sell you to Africa if you make any more noise, you troublesome woman. Lu Li glared at Tao Yuan, who was still struggling. Let go of me. I don't want you to care about me. Lu Li, let go. He didn't care how loud she was and just dragged her away. His strides were so big that Tao Yuan couldn't keep up with him since she was drunk. After stumbling a few steps, her legs gave way and she directly knelt on the beach. However, he ignored her and pulled her up again, continuing to walk. She was so anxious that her eyes were red. She used her other hand to break his fingers. Let go of me, do you hear me? You don't have the right to do this to me, you bastard. I told you to let go. Are you deaf? Let go. Let go. The man who only cared about moving forward suddenly stopped in his tracks, and Tao Yuan directly bumped into his chest. It was so hard that she blacked out and felt dizzy. Then he grabbed the right side of his face and lifted him up. His gloomy face was pressed down on him, and his eyes were burning with anger. You don't want me to care? Then who do you want to care? Do you want to be taken away by that man? So what if I do? He's 1,000, 10,000 times better than you. Tao Yuan was very angry after being messed around by him. She raised her head and looked into his angry eyes. Her slender body was still shivering from the cold, but she still looked fearless. Her eyes were red, partly because of the alcohol and partly because of her anger. He had promised that he would not treat her so savagely, but wasn't it the same now? Of course she could not believe this man's words. He was the most shameless scumbag in the world. His 5 fingers suddenly tightened, and her skin leaked out from the gaps between his fingers. His strong body pressed towards her, and his eyes shone with a fiery light. You want to anger me to death, don't you? Why do you have to go against me? Why do you have to make me angry? Tao Yuan rolled her eyes and rolled her eyes. Who are you? Why do I have to make you angry? I go to the party because I like it and I'm happy. That's my life and you have no right to interfere. I don't have the right? Lu Li clenched his teeth. Look at you now, aren't you still caught by me? What can you do? What? You came all the way back from Tao Yanran just to catch us in the act? The strong smell of alcohol rushed up her throat and Tao Yuan was so disgusted that she almost vomited. The discomfort in her stomach made her even angrier. Although she was drunk and her consciousness was not very clear, she roughly knew what kind of situation she was in. After all, this kind of thing had happened too many times, and her body had formed an instinctive resistance mechanism. Since you want to catch us in the act, why don't you do it later? When I have sex with that man you can end. She groaned in pain because he had actually bitten her lips. She felt that her lips were bitten and it was very painful. Lu Li was enraged by what she said. He said it word by word. You can only have me. Don't think about other men. I want it. It's none of your business. See if I can do anything about it. Her face was wrapped tightly and Tao Yuan struggled to break free. She was so angry that she went crazy. Let go of me, help, help, help. Help me, she cried and shouted. Lu Li had to cover her mouth and drag her to a corner. You're really disobedient, do you know that? Anger was boiling in his chest, but he couldn't bear to hurt her. Why can't you be more obedient, En? You won't have to suffer too. Help. He pinched her lips with 2 fingers. She couldn't make a sound and could only stare. Are you angry? Let me tell you, I'm 100 times angrier than you are now. I seem to have been too gentle with you in the past, causing you to do whatever you want now. It seems that I have to give you some punishment. The anger in his eyes dissipated and turned into something else. You like to go against me, right? Tao Yuan was so nervous that she kept swallowing her saliva. Her lips were already numb from being pinched by him and her eyes were filled with fear. You have a strange charm, do you know that? Even when I'm very angry, I still feel that you're damn seductive. He said in a low voice. At the same time, his fingers tightened and grabbed her butt. It's very exciting, isn't it? Your body is so sensitive. Lu Li put his mouth close to her ear and breathed out a hot breath. He moved down her earlobe and kissed her neck, sometimes gently and sometimes heavily. Tao Yuan closed her eyes. Tears seeped out from the corner of her eyes and she was about to go crazy. Lu Li smiled deeply. Open your eyes and look at me. See how I love you. As soon as he loosened his fingers, Tao Yuan began to curse. Bastard. Let go of me. She struggled to twist her body but she couldn't move. Let go. Scream a little louder. But there's no one here. Even if you scream your throat out, no one will come to save you. You're shameless. You can't do this to me. I'm not yours. Don't touch me with the dirty hands that you've touched Tao Yanran with. I feel disgusted. Let go of me, dirty hands? Are you talking about this hand? This hand will only touch you. It won't touch any other woman. Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning for saying such a lie? For someone like you who wants to have sex with every woman you see, I curse you. I curse you to get sick. I curse you to have sores on your head and pus under your feet. I curse you to be useless. Lu Li didn't get angry. Instead, he smiled and his eyes were abnormally bright. What good does my incompetence do to you? Your happiness still depends on me. Shameless. Your mouth is really bad. Looks like I have to give you some punishment. As he said that, his gaze sharpened, and he turned her body around with his back facing her, not giving her a chance to dodge at all. His strong body directly pressed down on her back, and he raised his hand to give her a hard slap on her buttocks. Tao Yuan screamed. She was in so much pain that tears were about to come out. Do you know the pain now? Do you still dare? As Lu Li said this, he slapped her butt again. Bastard. Bastard. Tao Yuan cried and cursed. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.